what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of FlagPlus Football's First and Goal podcast. I'm your host, Brent Bodkin.
And I'm Quaysie Maule.
All right, so what's going on, everybody? We are approaching week 12 here in FPF, the winter season, which means the playoffs are around the corner. Just a couple of weeks away. Right now, the weather is not cooperating. It's Friday right now. We're recording this on a Friday, so I'm going to pull the curtain back a little bit. The weather outside is actually not that bad. It's snowing, which isn't the greatest, but I mean, could be worse. As we saw this last week, some games were canceled. This week, the Dome in Laval kind of came down, so that's kind of putting a bit of a wrench into the schedule. So I know the March 11 games from last week that we talked about that were canceled during last week's show, those have been rescheduled. So make sure to hit up FlagPlusFootball.com to find out where the games have been rescheduled. I do know that the games scheduled at Laval for the rest of the regular season are going to be rescheduled as well. It hasn't been announced yet where all the games are going to be played. Obviously, there's a bunch of different fields to choose from. So just again, hit up the website as soon as we have the updates, and on Instagram as well, and on Facebook. We'll let you guys know what's up. So with all the negative stuff out of the way with the weather, again, we're the last little bit of March here, right? So April's around the corner. Hopefully the good weather comes. Hopefully. I can't stand the snow, so closer we get to spring, summer, good times. Mm-hmm. All right, so we got a couple of the two special guests actually coming up here. So in FPF, right? There's a lot of players. There's a lot of female players. There's a lot of male players. There's obviously the 6v6, the 5v5. There's co-ed, what have you. There's 35 plus, FPF Junior. FPF is obviously a big family. We've had a lot of guests in about a year and a half or so that Quaysie and I have been hosting the show. So we've had some female guests. We've had some male guests. We haven't had a couple, though, on FPF. So it's our first couple here in FPF. We realize there's a lot of couples in FPF, but we wanted to give you the best couple, the most special couple right here in FPF. So we're gonna bring on Brianna. So ladies first, Brianna Terracone and Sanders Armand. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Hello.
Oh. Thanks for the introduction.
Yeah.
How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
All right. So first, I just want to say thank you guys for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having
let's
me.
talk some. All right. Let's talk some ball. Obviously, the two of you play together, and co-ed too would back that pass up, right?
Yeah.
And then you guys play in your own individual teams as well. So I know Sanders obviously with No Regard, Hard 8. Any other teams I'm leaving out here? There's a 5v5 as well, I believe.
There's 5 NR, Hard 8, Lego My Flag, Vultures
Is okay. All right.
That's about it.
And then...
Yeah, co-ed 2.
Yeah.
Back that pass up. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay. And Brianna, you're on the Turf Titans and Women's too.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So let me ask you guys first. We'd like to ask this to our guests. How'd you guys find out about FPF? How'd you guys get involved in FlagPlus Football?
You go first.
Well, for me, I was playing at Sun Youth, and then we stopped playing together. And then some of my friends wanted to make a team in FPF. I was like, "What's FPF?" It's a flag league. So I was like, "Sure." I had nothing else to do. It was spring, and then we joined Division B. Our first game, I think it was against Montreal Finest. I don't know if it was their second team or their first team, but like it was against them. We got a whooping. We were the cocky guys, new kids on the block. Let's play man. They're not good. They look like 30 years old, and us were like 21, 22. So we were playing man the whole game. I think we lost like 42-14, but we put up 14 points. So that's a moral victory of itself. And then after that, I played with Blue Chips for like 2-3 seasons, and then I made the All-Star game, and that's when I started getting recruited by other teams in the other divisions, and that's how I started like to play with everybody around the league.
So Sanders, I see here you joined in 2016, and your first game you played versus Laval's Finest.
Laval's Finest.
Laval's Finest. Yeah, you played versus Laval's Finest. So that was like with the Sam Matcherstrop and those guys.
Was Jordan McLaren on that team?
Yeah, Jordan was on the team. Theo, but not Theo Ojea, the other Theo. But they were like a a decent group of guys that were all friends, and they play in that division. But yeah, do you remember what your record was for that team?
I think it's either 1-9 or 2-8, but we beat Travis's team. So it was like a LaSalle Sun Youth rivalry. So we're like, yo, if we're gonna lose all our games, we have to beat this team. And we beat them on the last game of the season.
That means you beat No Regard.
I don't think they were called No Regard at the time.
Hashtag No Regard.
Hashtag, okay, yeah. Well, beat No Regard.
Interesting.
Okay, nice. I gotta say, as a former Sun Youth reporter myself, I gotta say it's always good to be LaSalle.
Yeah.
Not a fan. Although you know, I kind of do some work for the LaSalle Warriors now. So I mean, I'm done playing ball, so it's okay.
Oh, man. Really?
Oh. Yeah. So you know what? It's actually Rob. It's Rob. I score keep the LaSalle Warrior games, like the midget and the bantamman net. So the Peterkin family, obviously Andy Emerson, all those guys are over there. So I'll help the kids. I'll help the kids, but I'm a Sun Youth reporter for life. I feel you. Okay. So Quaysie right now, I'm not sure what happened. I think his internet feed cut out, but you'll rejoin us. Not a problem. Okay, so Sanders, you talked about how you joined FPF. Brianna, what's your FPF story? How'd you get involved?
So actually, when I only found out about FPF after I met Sanders. I think it was our second time hanging out. I went to watch one of his games, and one of his games with Blue Chips, and I was like, wow, like this is really cool. Like I didn't even know that flag was that big. I've been playing soccer since I was 4, so I was more in like the soccer world. So I didn't know that flag really existed in this like big of a capacity. So I went to watch his game. I'm like, oh, like looks really cool. Kept going and watch. And then he was playing co-ed 2 in the spring. I show up to one of the games. It's like Saturday morning at Concordia. I'm there in like leggings, hoodie, like shoes, whatever. I'm sitting on the side. It's freezing. And they're missing a player. Then the girls are looking at me. They're like, "Are you down to play?" And I was like, yeah, for sure. You know, like being sarcastic. I'd never played before. Like I knew a bit of the rules and stuff because of watching Sanders for so long, but like I never stepped on the field. So they're like, "No, for real, like, do you want to play?" And I was like, well, okay, whatever. If you really need like a body, but like don't depend on me for anything, you know? So I get on, and then it's started from there. I had a lot of fun, and then I kept subbing for them for the rest of the season. And then in the spring, I ended up playing Lego My Flag, which was co-ed 1. Sorry, did I say the spring? In the fall, I played co-ed 1. That was was a lot to like start off in co-ed 1, but yeah. And then in the winter, now I'm playing Turf Titans and co-ed 2, and I love it. It's really, really fun. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so as soon as you got onto the field, that kind of flag football bug kind of got you right away. Then.
Yeah, I did.
I think she had running shoes.
Yeah,
she was playing with running shoes.
Yeah, I was not prepared for a flag game.
Her routes were a goal. Oh, no, not a goal. A hook, a 5-yard hook, and drag across the field.
I think I actually scored a TD that game.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was quarterback. I was playing quarterback. Yeah.
You'd be surprised how many people get into situations like that where, like, it could be like whatever their girlfriend came to watch them play, or one of their boys are just there, they're just chilling, hanging out, and if for some reason there's not enough, you don't have enough players playing, and you just look at the person, you're like, "You have shorts? Yeah, you have shorts. You have flags. You have a t-shirt. Yeah. Okay, good. Let's go." You know, and then you're just like, "Okay, I guess I'm playing flag today."
Yeah. Yeah. So that's how it all started.
Okay, I gotta say, so let it be a lesson, whether you're a girlfriend or a boyfriend, or even just a friend going over to watch someone play. Always, like, if you're driving, always have like cleats and shorts in your car. You never know. You never know.
No. You never know.
Okay, so again, you guys talked about your story. So going away from flag football, because I mean, I scorekeep a lot, as does Quaysie. So I usually catch up with you guys at least once every week or 2 or 3. I see you guys at one of the fields. You guys usually playing, or one of you is coming out to support each other, which is super awesome. Talk about you guys. Like, how'd you guys meet?
So actually, Sanders' old boss is like a mutual friend of ours. And I know him from the gym that I was going to, and he was obviously Sanders' boss, and they were friends. So, like, to make a long story short, one night, me and his boss and like a group of people were hanging out. So I turned to his name is Cedric. So I turned to Cedric, and I'm like, Cedric, do you have any like good guy friends that you know that like you know me, you know my vibe? Like, do you have any good guys that you can like set me up with? I'd been single for like 4 years at this point. I was like tired of like stupid dates and like Tinder and all that stuff. So I was just like, you know, any good guys, you know? And he's like, yeah, my friend Sanders. He's like, he's working right now. Let's go meet him. And we were downtown. So we walk over to warehouse where he's a bouncer. And we just start talking, and then
At 1 a.m.
Yeah.
And like being a bouncer is like babysitting drunk people or drunk kids. So you get fed up. So it's 1 a.m. She comes out of nowhere, and I'm already fed up because I had to kick out 2 or 3 groups. And then all of a sudden I see her because my boss didn't tell me he was going to bring somebody. So I was fed up. I was pissed. Then all of a sudden I see her. I'm like, oh, okay, good looking girl. Okay, all right. And then we start. I remember our first conversation. We started talking, and she sucked her teeth. When she sucked her teeth at me, I'm like, oh, she doesn't seem interested at all.
No. Okay, but the reason it wasn't at him that I sucked my teeth. I sucked my teeth because Cedric was like, Sanders, this is Brianna. Brianna, this is Sanders. You're both single. You both need love. Go talk to each other. So I sucked my teeth. Like, what kind of introduction is this? I was embarrassed, you know. I'm like, oh my God, this is so. Oh, I got so shy. But then, anyways, got to talking. We went on a date the next day, and then we've been inseparable ever since. That's pretty much the story. Yeah.
Okay, so shout out to Cedric. Shout out to Cedric
Shout out Cedric.
Nice. Okay. So for the people that are at home listening, I reached out to you guys earlier today to come on the show. And so Sanders, I have your number, so I hollered at you first. And Sanders is like, yeah, I don't know about coming on. He's like, and then he gave me the idea to ask you, Brianna. So I'm like, all right, let's get Brianna on, because I see you guys all the time. So I'm like, all right, let me get the both of you guys on here. And he told me that you convinced him to come on the podcast today.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true? You got him to come on? Is that the truth?
I did. He did a little.
Seeking suits, I'm more like a stay in the corner type of guy. And
but
yeah,
you're good, buddy.
We're here.
Okay. Is that so? Looking from the outside, looking in, at least on the surface, looks like Sanders is kind of the quiet guy, and Brianna, you not to say you speak for him, but like you're the more outgoing one, right, of the relationship. Is that why you guys work so well? Okay, so it looks like we're having some technical difficulties right now. Unfortunately, we're trying to get these two back. Okay.
Okay, me and Brent.
Okay. You guys hear us now, or? Okay, all right. So
Hello?
we're fairly resident to work on the technical part. That's crazy. So obviously, like I said earlier, right, week 12 is coming up, a lot of big games in the different divisions. I think we have them back.
Yeah.
Did Ali Reza? Okay, good. All right. So we got you guys back. So like I was saying before, the technical difficulties. I mean, you guys seem to kind of be kind of like that yin and yang. Like Sanders might be a bit more reserved. You might be a bit more outgoing. Is that what makes you guys work so well?
I wouldn't consider myself outgoing. I think we're both like, I think we're just like, I feel like he's the male version of me. So it just like works perfectly. We're on the same like chill vibe. We're both not too outgoing. We're not too quiet. We're just like chilling. And I think that's why it like works so well.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
How would you guys describe each other on the football field?
Sanders. It's like, I don't know. I find him very like he's very passionate. He's very into it. He's very like it's his thing, you know. So, but he's still like pretty like he's good, you know. He's like very dominating on the field. Whereas I feel like I'm more just like just tell me what to do and I'm gonna do it and like try my best. I'm also like new to it, but I'm a bit more confidence. I'm a bit more like timid on the field. I don't really.
You're getting used to it, right? You haven't been playing for that long, kind of thing. Sanders has been playing for quite a while, so he's more a veteran, and he probably feels more comfortable and telling people what to do and stuff like that. So that does make sense.
Okay. Sanders, I want to ask you. So I've seen you play quarterback. I've seen you play defense. I've seen you play receiver. What's your favorite position to play?
I love playing quarterback. Having that ball in my hand every single play, knowing the game, like I'm a big part of the game. Like the play is gonna end on me. Like if I make the right read, if I run the ball, if I do this or do that, is good. Like that's why I like playing quarterback. After that, I like playing defense because I like setting the tone on defense, like pumping up the team, trying to get that pick six, trying to give my quarterback an extra possession. Right receiver is nice and all, but like it's really like game-changing plays really come on defense because anybody can score a touchdown on a 6-yard hook or a triple slant left or right? But who can get a crucial interception or a crucial pick six to bring your team back or like to take the extra lead or like to keep the lead, you know?
Good. And Brianna, so usually when I see you play, you're usually playing receiver. So I imagine, I assume that's your favorite position. But have you given any thought to maybe playing defense as well? Like, or do you like playing defense when you have the opportunity?
So I found at the beginning, I'm like, okay, playing receiver is kind of more like simple to start with. Obviously, to be a good receiver, you need to know the game a lot more. But like in my head, it was like, okay, quarterback gives you a route, you run the route, you either get the ball or you don't, and like it's pretty like simple. You don't have to do that much more thinking when you're starting off. But on defense, it was kind of intimidating because I'm like, oh my God, like everybody is moving and everybody, like, I don't know where anyone's going. And then, cover short, but like there's 3 people coming short. Who do I get? What do I do? So it was a bit scary. But recently I've been starting in our co-ed 2. We've actually had a couple of situations where we're either missing players or we're like exactly enough. So I had no choice to play both ways. And super helpful to have him on the field with me because like I feel more comfortable with him telling me what to do and I trust what he's telling me. So if he like tells me to cover shorts, like, and he helps me, like he guides me a little bit. So it's like super helpful and I felt more comfortable like trying it out. And I'm actually really starting to enjoy it now that I'm starting to like understand a bit more. I feel like I'm starting to enjoy it. I feel like I might end up enjoying defense more, like in the long run, once I start kind of understanding more and more. Because when I played soccer, I play defense. So I kind of have that like defensive mindset where I want to like, I'll do anything to like screw up your play. Like I don't want you guys to get the ball. So I kind of already have that type of mindset. So I just need to kind of get more used to flag so that transitions kind of that mindset into flag.
Okay.
Another thing, in the past, Quaysie kept on saying, "Oh, so there's not a quarterback, but hey, Quaysie, I'm a quarterback, okay? Put some respect."
I'm catching a straight here. I don't know.
Because I listen to a podcast like Friday nights when I'm driving to work, and sometimes I listen to my divisions I play on. So Sanders was subbing in for quarterback. He's not a quarterback, but he tried to make it work. Hey, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Just need to work on my the fade routes, a touch on the fade routes, and I should be.
Yeah. So I think we're having some more.
Is it my connection or is it their connection?
No, I think it's. I don't know. I can hear you. I can hear you fine.
Yeah, I think you're
All
correct.
right. Again, Brianna Sanders, can you guys hear us still?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
it just kind of goes on and off. It's fine.
All right. No worries. No worries. All right. Okay. So you mentioned being quarterback, Sanders. Obviously, you're still kind of new to it. Like, what are some of the things you've learned so far from playing quarterback, and some of the things you feel that you might need to get better at?
I realize it's it's a 40-minute game. If you make a mistake, on to the next play. What I need to work on more is probably like play calling in a stressful situation in the last 2 minutes, or like in the red zone, proper play calling. But usually I've been playing quarterback in Quad 2, and I did a couple Division 3 and Division 2 seasons, and just like use the strength of my receivers. Like, a lot of people like to go 3-4 verts, but if your receiving core is more possession receivers, the 10-yard hooks, the 5-yard ends, the triple smash left, So I was just like learning how to use my receivers properly and take it on from there. Yeah, so and I also like don't want to use my legs a lot because people gonna be like, "Oh, you're a running quarterback." No, I'm trying to be that pocket passer quarterback. So I'm really trying to get my timing, get the accuracy down, and eventually, like I'm gonna turn it into a new leaf. Like I'm gonna start playing quarterback for the next couple seasons and see if I can play Division 2, Division 1. So yeah, watch out.
Yes.
All right. All right. I heard you may be playing quarterback this summer in the spring season.
Yeah.
Might have heard that somewhere. Might have heard that.
Wow. Stay tuned.
All right. Yeah, there you go. Stay tuned. Okay. So Brianna, I just want to go back to you. So with the Turf Titans right now, looking at your squad, you guys are sitting kind of tied for like that last playoff spot with a couple of teams. I believe it's a 2-7. Yeah, 2-7 record now. So you're tied with the Bolts, the Rock, for that last playoff spot with 4 points. You guys unfortunately only have one game left in the season, right? There's a couple of teams that have a game in hand, like the Bolts, a couple of games in hand. You ladies are only down to your last game of the season, which is going to take place all the way on April 4th. So that's a Saturday, so about 2 weeks from now, against Blue Legacy. It's pretty safe to say, I mean, if you guys can get the win, so Blue Legacy is actually one of the teams behind you in the standing. So it's a big opportunity for your team to get 2 points. I don't want to say for sure winning you're in, but it could be pretty sure if you guys get that W, because again, you're tied with the Bolts and the Rock. So if they're able to, if they go winless the rest of the way, and you guys are able to get that W, there's a good chance of making the playoffs. Looking at your team right now, what do you guys have to do to get the W, and what's kind of the identity of your team so far this season?
Oh my goodness. Okay. I'll go like on offense and on defense. On offense, I feel like we just need to. I think we're. It's the first time I play with this team, so I don't want to say like too much. And well, it's also our first season with a new quarterback, so I think we're still trying to find like good chemistry on offense with her. Find what works best for us. I think we've made a lot of progress throughout the season. It hasn't been like the greatest season in terms of like wins, but I think we've made a lot of progress. If I like think of our game that we played on Wednesday, we played against the Nomads, and honestly, it was like a pretty like we got blown out, but it was a pretty decent like game for us. Like we made some good like plays, and we connected on a lot of things that we probably wouldn't have connected on at the beginning of the season. So hopefully that translates well into our last game, so that hopefully we can make the playoffs. On defense, I think we just need I usually play on offense, but from what I see on the sidelines when I'm watching the defense, I think I've just a bit more communication. But like we have girls that like want to play and that like want to improve. So I think we just need to find that chemistry, and that'll like help in the long run. What was your other question? What do you think the identity of the team?
So you're new to the team, right? Like you're saying, but in the time you've been in FPF, and the time you spend with this team, like what
Mhm.
what do you think the identity is? What do you actually, a different question. What do you think, throwing the record aside, what do you think is the thing that's worked well the most for your squad this year?
Um, hmm. I think that like in like the best way possible, we don't like take it too seriously. Like it's fun. No matter like I find it fun. Like I show up and no matter if we win, lose, whatever, like the vibe is always good. Like no one is like super like sore loser type of mentality. Like we all know that we're there to like we take it game by game and we're learning and we're a new team, chill vibes, like it's all good and it's like not that deep, you know what I mean? Like it's no matter what happens, like we've been improving and we've been like growing as a team. So I find that that's a really good quality that we have. Because if I base it on experiences, like soccer experiences, when you go play with the team and like everyone is just like something happens and then everyone's like mad at each other and then your like whole vibe is off and then you just keep doing worse and then it's just so I find that we have a good attitude with each other and during the game and we try not to let like our like let's say we get scored on like on to the next, kind of like he was saying, like on to the next play and just move on, do what we can. And I think that really helps. And it helps, I think in the long run, it'll help build like good chemistry too, because we're not like scared to make mistakes. It's like whatever, like shit happens and on to the next. So I think that's a really good quality that we have as a team.
Okay, nice. I'm just looking at your roster again. I know I've scored kept, I think, two of your games this season, and I came away thinking that again, record wise, you might not be where you want to be, but I came away with the impression that you guys are having fun. I did your game. It was in Brassard. Sorry, I'm just trying to go back and get the schedule here. Yeah, it was in Brassard a few weeks ago. I believe it was against Old School of the Rock. Yeah, it was against Old School, and it was week 9.
Yeah.
You guys lost 24-7, but from what I remember about that game, it was a close game for a while. Just a couple mistakes here and there, a couple plays I'm sure you guys would want to have back. But again, looks like you guys are having fun when you're out there, and you're a hardworking team. There's some teams who kind of just give up. Like I said, in your team, there appears to be no quit, which is something cool. Who are some of the players on your team that we might not be familiar with right now? Do you think are really making an impact and are going to be able to, or making an impact now, are going to be able to kind of build on something maybe for the spring season and future seasons?
On offense, well, our quarterback, Maule, I think that like the more we'll work together with her, I think like it'll really be good. I like the way I just like her as a person, but I like the way she plays too. It's I think that's really important for your quarterback to be a good like she's a good leader, and I think it's very helpful for what I was saying, like our like vibe and whatever. How like we don't like let a bad play or a drop or whatever get to us on offense. Like she's a really like good person for that because she's like whatever, it's fine. Like on to the next, and it's all good. So I feel like we're like she's very good for that, and I think that she'll make like a good impact in the future. Even Rafaela Rinaldi, she's one of our good receivers. She's young too, so like if we keep like building with her, I think that'll be great. On defense, there's Cindy Canuel, I think is her last name. Yeah, she's just like great for the vibes, and she's like just she's in it to play. Like she'll like give her life out there. Like I love that girl. She's great, and I think she brings a good vibe to the defense too. Like that kind of like she has that dog in her. Like she wants to get that ball no matter what. And I think well, obviously
defense, so player too, right?
Yeah, and she's also a soccer player too. And unfortunately, like Kira's injured, but she also like kind of has that dog in her, and I just love seeing that on defense. It like that's like kind of what makes me want to play defense because I just like I just want to get out there and just pick the ball. But yeah, those are like the ones that come to my head for players that make a good impact in our team.
Okay. I noticed something the last couple of years. Like when I first joined FPF, like I came from playing tackle as a Quaysie, right? And I found a lot of the male soccer, not trying to throw any shade, but a lot of the male soccer players that I found that were coming into flag, a lot of those guys were soft. I'm not gonna lie, it is what it is. And I find with a lot of the female soccer players, even females from other sports, I find when they come into FPF, like they already have like kind of that toughness, that like kind of like ride or die attitude. And for me, right, that's my observation. Like I think it's kind of cool. Like for example, just speaking of yourself, right, and some of the ladies you talked about, they're coming from that soccer background and kind of make that transition in FPF. There's a learning curve like there is for anybody else, right? Just coming from non-football to football. But I find a lot of the females that are coming in from other sports kind of hit the ground running, and I think it's really cool to see.
Thank you. But yeah, I agree too. I think yeah, I agree. Yeah, like the male soccer is kind of anyways, whatever. No comment on that. You said what you said. And I agree. But yeah, I feel like any like team that I played with growing up, especially like playing soccer, we're just kind of, I don't know if it's just like in women's sports we want to prove that like like we could be tough too. I think that's kind of the mentality. Like
it
like,
seems like it's more aggressive. Like I feel like I've watched. I'm not a
there's a lot of
but I've seen a decent amount of women's games, and I feel like it's more pushy, more attitude compared to the guys. Where like I've also watched a lot of guys soccer too. I feel like it's less chirpy. It's more kind of just like
could definitely get rowdy out there, and the women's
it's like sneaky. It's like sneaky too. It's like weird. It's like, oh, that girl kicked me in the back, or that girl's pushing me, whatever. And it's like,
and if you mess with one of my teammates, best believe if you're near me, you're not getting by.
No, that's exactly it. You know.
Yeah. So I think that kind of translates well to football too. Like, obviously, it's flag. It's not like tackle, but like you still need that kind of mentality, like to hold your ground out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you look at and both of you guys can answer this, when you look at like women's football right now in FPF, again we've had a couple of females on the show the last couple of seasons. There's Sarah Parker, Lori Willett, Emma, Ashlyn Thompson, pardon me, Emily Adam as well. Where do you right now, like women's football in FPF, how do you think it stands right now, and where do you think it can grow to?
I think it's.
What is that for me? You said both of us.
Either or, both.
I thought it was frozen. Oh, sorry. What I've seen lately is like the girls can ball. Like you can put them in some of Division 3, Division 4. And they're gonna do the same thing that they're doing right now, like with the dips, the hips, and everything. Like, it's really competitive, and I like to see that because I like to watch the games when I have a game before or after. I want to sit around and it's good quality football, and I see it's taking off good. I see they're doing youth camps as well, so they're starting young, and I like what I'm seeing. And Team Canada is always like rated like top 10 in the world. And Sarah Parker throws a great ball out there, and she has like great concepts and everything. And all the girls on Team Canada, they're ballers. Like they can compete. Like even with the guys, like if you put the Sub-Zero against certain male divisions, they're gonna pull off some upsets and stuff like that. So I think they're in great hands, and FPF is a great platform for them to get better. Like. Yes, they play on separate teams and they come around together in tournaments, but like it's still like, you have Sub-Zero, you have Cayenne, you have all this, all that. And shout out to Jeff for keeping it open for them to improve on the field and to get that core chemistry and like practice. And, so we're in good hands for the women's game. And then I like what I see out there. It's really competitive and I like that.
Yeah, I find also like I haven't been around for that long playing flag, but from what I've seen, and also I've been scorekeeping a lot more this season, so I get to scorekeep some women's games often, and it's just, for me, I find it like inspiring to see that, like, I just love anything that's to do with women's sports, but like in flag, it's nice to see like, wow, like it's actually like very competitive and very like high level, and it motivates me to like get better and to hopefully like be able to compete with girls at that level one day. I know I'm a bit of an old lady. I'm 30, but like maybe one day, if I'm not too broken, I can like have the privilege of playing against girls at that caliber.
Yeah,
and also like the 5v5 game, their plays are really nice. Sometimes I take some of their plays and I try to put it with NR, and the guys are looking at me like, I'm like, bro, trust me, just do it. And we did it last game, and we got a couple first downs with certain 5v5 girl plays. Like it was really nice just watching their games in general, because you can pick up a lot of things just watching, even guys, girls. If you just watch certain teams, you can really pick up some nice plays, trick plays to here and there.
Yeah, so, their concepts are done really well. So it's definitely something where you could translate to your own team and kind of use what they're doing.
Yeah, because it's very sound, disciplined things, and like, it's not always like speed. It's creativeness, and I like that.
Okay. But so playing together, like I said earlier, right, for co-ed 2, we'll back that pass up. Sorry. What do you guys think right now of co-ed 2, like the division? Looking at your team, you guys have a strong squad. What's your opinion right now? What's your view of co-ed 2?
My view of co-ed 2. There's some good teams in there. I think Venom with Paul, they're probably like the top team, like taking away ourselves, like back that pass up. Venom, like, because Paul got like former VC players, and I seen one or two of their games, like the guys and girls were making great catches, and Paul was zipping it in there. And then their defense, they're all over the place. And Paul, he's been playing for the last 20, 30 years, even before FPF was created. So he was throwing out good defensive concepts, making guys shoot to the outside, this and that. So I think Venom is a pretty good team. And then Block Party. Yeah, Block Party, they got better since last season, the start of last season, to where they are now. I feel like Yvonne has more confidence in his arm, and he's not using his legs as much as before. But even though every time he takes off, he can get a touchdown, but like he has that confidence in his arm, and it's nice to see. Other than that, we're still gonna pick back that pass up to get that championship.
What about nice things. Sorry, Sanders. What about the two teams that you guys played? So you guys are 5-2 in this division. Your two loss came versus Mavericks, where you guys lost 37-28, and then you also lost versus Kamikaze 31-28. So what do you think about those two teams that beat you so far in the season?
You want my honest opinion?
Yeah.
I mean, listen.
Why you're here?
If we play them again, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a different outcome. Respectfully, like they're two great teams. They have a lot of young players, both sides. Mavericks, I think the average age is like 19, 20, and then you have Kendall.
He's bringing up this.
The average of just a little bit, but like, yeah. And then Kamikaze, I think they have FA. FA, she's really good. I think she was the quarterback when we faced them. So yes, they have a lot of youth on their side, but like I said, if we play them again, I think it's gonna be a different outcome. And I think both of those situations, we're missing one or two key players on defense, and then we were missing a rusher. I'm just saying, if we play them, I think it's gonna be in the playoffs, because I don't think we don't play the same team twice in the season. So it should be in the playoffs. So yeah, get a nice little rematch in, and then we'll see what it is.
Hopefully, if you do have a rematch against them, you lose. Me and Brent are going to be calling you out on this, right?
I actually want Mavericks, because Kendall kept on talking. He talked after the game, not during the game or before, after the game. So I'm really hoping to face Mavericks. Kamikaze, I really like FA. She's smart. I think she's like 16, 17, and like she's really creative with her play calling, and she can get a ball in there, skinny post and everything.
Okay, so hold on. I just want to make sure because it sounds like you're kind of guaranteeing a win, but not really. Is this an
I'm
official sign of
guaranteeing.
guarantee?
No,
Huh?
I'm not one of these guys that come on here and all shy with it. No, when it comes to this competitiveness, yo, trust me, I'm guaranteeing a win.
Okay, all right. So you guys heard it here first. The official guarantee. If you guys play, like you said, Kamikaze, it's a
Oh, it's
guaranteed
more for
win.
Mavericks. It's more for
The
Mavericks,
Mavericks.
but yeah, Kamikaze can get it too. You know, yeah.
All right. And Brianna, is that an official Brianna guarantee as well, or are you gonna lay low on that one?
I'll no, you know what? Yes, I'll back him up on that one.
Okay.
We
All
got,
right.
we got the win if we play them again.
All right, so Kamikaze and Mavericks, you heard it here first. If you guys end up playing back that pass up, they're bringing that smoke. They're bringing that smoke. All right. Okay, cool. We'll let you guys go in a little bit. A couple of the things. I know before we went to air, we were talking about you guys are watching March Madness. I'm a Duke fan, so last night was stressful. Watching us barely get by Siena was stressful, but I'm very happy. My night was made. Before I went to bed, I saw UNC get beat down by VCU. I'm very happy.
Up
There's
next
a lot of
team.
UNC fans watching this right now, so I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy.
But
Hope
you
you
guys are
guys can
gonna
enjoy the
lose
rest of the
to
tournament.
UConn, so
Sorry?
you guys are gonna lose to UConn in the. I think
Yeah,
it
no,
was
no, we're not.
they might
No,
match
no.
up
You know what? That's
3-16 in front of four.
actually we have a lot of
Yeah.
injuries right now. But you know what? I'm gonna give you a Brent Bodkin guarantee, my friend. A Brent Bodkin guarantee. We're getting out the next round, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Next round for sure. I don't think we're losing next round, but after that, we don't get some guys back. I don't know. I think the Siena game was a wake up call, but that's just me. I'm hoping it is. I'm hoping.
No.
All right. Just finally, right now, again, with FPF, right? You guys are having fun. Where would you guys like to go next in terms of maybe where you're playing, championship aspirations? What's next for you guys for FPF?
With FPF, like
What teams are you gonna play with next
Not
season?
teams really.
Next season.
What teams or what goals do you have in FPF? Like what's remaining for you guys?
I'll probably say like starting my quarterback journey, or try to get a Division One championship. Out of all the championships I won, not in Division One, so I'm looking to get a Division One championship. Starting my quarterback journey and just having fun. Like I'm gonna play until my legs can't no more. That's why I'm always on these 4 or 5 teams. Because at the age of 40, I won't be able to play flag like that no more. So I'm just gonna play until my legs can't no more, and then I enjoy every bit of it. And if I have a day off and there's a flag game and I have a game before, I might get there like an hour before just to enjoy it because it's a nice vibe. I like the flag community. You know, like everybody's chill with each other. There's no bad mouthing. Maybe in the game, but after the game, everybody's just chill, relax, grab drinks, and it's chill. And then after that, I really want to get into coaching. Like I coached my local high school in flag, and it was a nice experience. But like, yeah, I really want to get into coaching. So I'm looking around like to see any coaching opportunities.
Hit me
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, but you live in Brossard. I live in RDP. That's like a 1 hour 30 minutes.
It's true.
If you want to do it, you got to
You
start
can
somewhere, right?
negotiate. Yeah. So yeah, I want to get into coaching and stuff like that and quarterback journey.
To kind of get on the same point when you're kind of talking about your quarterback journey, I believe you're one of the players that have been that has gotten an award for pretty much every category except for quarterback. Is that it?
No, I got one except for I think a defensive player of the year, which is crazy because I think I talked to you about that like 2 years ago. I think it came down between me and Manu in like Division 2.
Yeah.
And then I think he got it because he had one more sack. I was like
something around those lines. Unfortunately, now for some reason, if you do get defensive of the year, we have a rusher award now. So there's something else.
I'm not getting no rusher award.
That's something to kind of.
Rushing is cool here and there, but you have to be committed for a full season. Especially like, let's say you play a guy like Kevin Wyeth or Dan Lazara. He's like 15 yards from the snapper. Like, it's hard to get guys like that, especially in the higher divisions. I'm not bashing the lower divisions, but the higher division, these quarterbacks are so smart, and there's a timing route. So downside and then boom. So it's really hard to get in their faces like that.
Maybe you do co-ed too. You become a quarterback and a rusher, and you.
Hey, you say that, but it's hard to sack like Marc-André or the Alex.
That's why you get the bottom teams, the teams that are not that good. You sack hat.
I might actually have to lower my rating, and I can play co-ed 3 then.
All right. What about is winning a championship together? Is that something that's on kind of your bucket list?
For sure. We're to this day, I still have to think about the back to pass up versus block party.
No, Purple Blood.
Oh, Purple Blood. Sorry, Purple Blood versus block party. I still remember this. It was my slot corner. I had a backside post, and for some reason, I'm like, I'm gonna live and die with my slot on a jump ball on 2-3 guys. Then the last second, I seen the back post open, but I still threw it for the jump ball. And to this day, I still regret. And we're like a couple plays away from winning the championship, so we want to get back in that. Probably, if it's not co-ed 2, then co-ed 1, or never know. So yeah, we want to win a championship together and stuff like that.
Okay. I mean,
so I don't know about right?
Well, yeah.
She can answer too. So.
Yeah, I obviously, yeah. I'd love to.
You might say we're just here to have fun. No.
What? What? No, I'd love to win a championship together too.
Okay. Well, listen, there's still some regular season left, right? And the playoffs are around the corner, so best of luck to you guys, and we'll be rooting for you guys. So hopefully get to get into the dance and hopefully win that chip.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions, Quaysie? You're good?
No, I'm good. I'm done.
All right. Just want to say thank you guys for coming on. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to come on to the podcast. And Brianna, thank you for getting Sanders to come on to the podcast. Especially, it's great to have the both of you guys on.
Oh, you're welcome.
Like I said, you guys are our first official couple here on FPF, so a little bit of FPF podcast history.
6'7".
Dude, I work with kids all day long, and the fact that you just busted up that 6'7", I lost a little respect for you right there.
I rage bait her so much; it's concerning.
All right, good times. All right, so the Sanders, Armand, and Brianna Terraconius again. Thank you guys for coming on to the podcast. Really appreciate you guys, and we'll see you definitely either maybe this weekend or sometime down the road as we head towards the playoffs. Thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So, yes, thanks again to our guests for coming on. Like we say all the time, if you guys want to come on to the podcast, feel free to come on and let us know. Funny story, actually. So, like I was saying before we went on, Gary Quaysie, I was at the gym earlier today. And actually met a guy from FPF at the gym. He's like, "Hey, are you on the podcast?" And I was like, "Yeah." It was I was gonna get his name here, Elio, from the Texas Whales. Elio, actually, instead of going to the website, I could just check on my phone. He gave me his name, and he said, "Yeah, for sure, I want to come on the podcast." Elio Cariglia from the Texas Whales. He's a guy I've seen this guy play a lot. He's a good dude. Goes to my gym. He's a good player, so he's definitely gonna want to come on the podcast. There's a couple other players who I have lined up, just trying to organize a time when it's good for us and good for them. Again, we want to get more guests on the podcast, male and female. So again, if you want to come on the pod, just shoot us a message, hit us up on Instagram, hit us up on Messenger, hit Quaysie up or myself up, or Ali Reza, Omar, whoever. Feel free to come on the pod and chop it up. Okay, so talking to these guys, obviously we knocked off co-ed 2, we knocked off women's 2. You want to start with Division 6?
Let's go Division 1, and then let's
Okay,
Division 1, and then we'll go up.
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, Division 1, obviously the Vultures, Sanders team. I talked a little bit briefly about their squad. Looking at the upcoming schedule here for the Vultures. They are in action actually this Saturday, so tomorrow. Big game against the Braves. That's going to be in Laval. Well, so this again with this whole Laval situation, right? The game's supposed to be in Laval, so obviously it's going to be in the main. Yeah, so the main field. Yeah, so the main field at Laval is fine. Again, the dome, where usually a bunch of games played. That's not happening. But inside the main field in Laval, if you have a game there, that's going on as advertised, going on as normal. So if you play in the main dome, a main place.
Yeah. So when you check the schedule and you see the games, it says like the location, and it will say Laval Main, or it will say Laval Dome. If it says Laval Dome, that means your game is going to be rescheduled. But if it says Laval Main, it means you're playing inside the complex and not the dome, so your games are going to be on.
Exactly.
I think we're going to make a post about it because I think a few people are going to be confused. Like again, for the guys for KGP, we thought the games was canceled until I kind of saw a text in our group chat for Basecamp, someone asking to switch their shift, and I was like, oh wait, there's still games in Laval, but it's Laval Main, So a lot of teams haven't played in the main field yet, so they just figured Laval is just Laval, So with all the announcements that were kind of coming out, I'm sure a lot of people just figured, okay, Laval is just kind of like completely canceled, but so
okay, so
go ahead. You go.
I was going to say Ali Reza is just telling us. Ali Reza, you need to come on the podcast. It makes no sense that we're taking pauses while we're talking. Just come on the podcast and make the announcement. Anyways, so Ali Reza is telling us that if you see your game listed on Instagram, so obviously social media, it's still happening. If your game is not listed on the social media, because obviously these guys do a great job every week listing the games that are coming up. If your game is listed on Instagram, that means your game is on. And like Quaysie's saying, right? If your game is in the Laval Main, like the complex in the basement there, you should have the soccer going on. That's fine. You're good. Outdoors, where it would be or where the dome is, that's canceled. So I think by now it should be clear. And again, like I said at the top, go to FlagPlusFootball.com. Everything will be updated on Instagram. Go to the social media. You'll see that on Facebook as well. Like we'll have posts regarding the games and when they'll be rescheduled. So make sure to keep on refreshing and going back, and you'll find out where you need to be if your game is one of those games is canceled in the Laval Dome.
Exactly. So going back to Division 1, right? So we kind of looked at it a bit. Everyone makes playoffs in this division, so it's more about seedings. We kind of talked about how, unfortunately, this year, two of the top teams, their seedings are. I mean, it's not going to matter to a point. You're not going to be able to avoid them. Usually, you have the top two teams of the 1 and 2, and then you try to get that third seed, so you don't have to play them in the first round. But this year is completely different. You have the Party Crashers at 1, you have the Vultures at 2, you have the Braves at 3, and then you have the teams like Fins Up, One Stop, Royal Infantry at 7, and Easy W at 8. So there's a big chance Infantry is probably going to finish in the 5th spot, depending how they end their last 4 games of the season. And in the 5th spot, you'll play the 4th team. You'll play a 4-seed team. So like it's unfortunately for like Fins Up, a team that's probably going to finish 5-5 and finish in that 4th seed, where usually they would maybe play against a team like more like Vultures or like a Royal Luminar or something like that's more comfortable, but instead you're going to be playing again a team like Infantry and maybe even Braves, depending how the rest of their season kind of ends. So it's completely different this year on the standings, and the teams that are way better. The teams that usually are way better are playing a lot worse.
Hey, so so you bring up a good point. So I wanted to bring this up when we hit up Division One. I had a chance, so I was scorekeeping as I usually do Mondays in Saint Laurent. I wasn't doing the one stop against Braves game that was in Saint Laurent. I was on the field next to it doing a Division 5 game. But I saw what was going on with that one stop Braves game. Exciting game, obviously big plays on both sides, fantastic players on both sides, as is the case, right, with Division 1, but specifically when it's one stop against the Braves. Uh, yeah, one stop again. I know some of these guys on the team, right? From having worked at McGill, I know some of these cast like Janai Copeland Lewis, great dude. I've had a chance to call over the years. Like I said, some of the guys like Ryan McNally, fantastic stand-up guy. Ryan McNally is the type of guy you want on. It could be flag football, it could be tackle, it could be touch football, it could be stare at the person football and you're down. Like you want Ryan McNally on your team, great dude. And some other guys on the team I've called their games. Charles Cassette, a good dude as well. I like him. He's like a cocky dude, but he backs it up. He talks a little bit of trash, but I like him. But he basically got kicked out of the game. Janai Copeland Lewis got kicked out of the game. Now, Janai got into it with one of the refs, Jason Leclerc, is a good dude as well. They got into it, kind of a misunderstanding where Janai was kind of talking to Mo and I, who were because Mo was refing on the field that I was on, and Janai knows us, right? He knows that to ask us questions, even when he's annoyed about something, he'll come and go, "Hey, what's up with that?" Whatever. And he was talking to me and Mo, and Jason kind of thought it was directed at him what Janai was saying. Now, was it? I can't really say because I didn't fully hear what Janai was saying. Long story short, Janai got an OC, and so he was kicked off for 10 plays, but essentially missing kind of the rest of the game he was involved in. And it was a thing where just like that kind of downward spiral went then from Janai getting the OC, then to Charles getting the OC, yelling at the referees. Guys, listen, I can understand you're frustrated. Tensions are high. It's a big game. I know you guys in the Braves, you guys have no love lost between your two teams because I've said on this podcast before, I've scored plenty of games with you guys, and it's a lot of trash talking. Surprisingly, there was none really in this game. Shout out to the Braves, by the way, who were without Joe Mahia. William Chache, more than capable quarterback, filled in, and they won 42-36. But one stop again, the guys you can't argue with the rest, right? Even when you feel like you're in the right, and there are instances where you guys are in the right and the refs are in the wrong because they're human, right? Mm-hmm. Arguing with the refs is not going to get you anywhere. It's just going to get you an OC, and then you're kicked out. And again, you lose the game 42-36, right? It's not a lot, right? It's pretty much a one possession game, and to be kicked out for crucial plays when your team needs you, you got to look at the bigger picture. Despite how frustrating in the moment it is, whether it's a missed call or a call that you think shouldn't have gone against you, yelling at the refs and getting kicked out for 10 plays is not helping your team.
Was that the onside attempt?
That was a good question. I didn't see the beginning of the play because again I was scorekeeping the game on the other field. I was trying to go back and forth to watch. That's a good question. Let me check. Actually, let me go to the play-by-play and see.
Well, doesn't again, show that. I don't see. I'm looking at it now. I don't see an OC. So maybe they just forgot to kind of put it there. But
okay, that's weird.
I want to say a lot of times it could be because you said he was pretty much out for the rest of the game. So I was kind of going back and I was going down. I was subtracting the plays, and it's a unsuccessful offside kick when they ran like 11 other plays. So I would people get pretty heated for something like that because it is game changing.
Right.
Call blown where you should have got it converted or something like that. I feel like it's a good reason to kind of it's not a good reason to do what you did, but it makes sense if for some reason if you get the OC something like that. If it's something.
Why not? So the OC to Janai came in the first half.
Oh, okay. So never mind then.
Yeah, his OC came in the first half. I know Charles was given one as well. I'm just trying to go back and
Charles got at the end of
end of the game. Yeah. So yeah, that was after the game had already been settled, and that again, it's a thing where again, like just getting overseas, obviously it's not going to help you win, right? And losing a player like Janai, well, I'll say I think Janai is the best player on this team, and no disrespect to any of the guys. There's a lot of other guys on the team who are top notch players. for one stop. But Janai, I think head and shoulders is the best player on this team. And having him kicked out, it was in the first half, so you have a whole second half of football. But getting him kicked out of those 10 plays towards the end of the first half, that's huge, right? And it wasn't even just the fact that he got kicked out. It's like he got kicked out. He was clearly upset about it because he was talking to myself on the sideline, talking to Mo, talking to even Jack, who was an official on the other field. Jack knows Janai as well from reffing tackle games, right? And Jack, like talking to him and trying to explain what was happening. And it's just it sets a tone, right? Where like it goes from like kind of bad to worse for specifically for a team like One Stop, right? Because these guys are close, right? These guys pretty much all brothers. At least the guys that played at McGill, right? And then you add in some FPF veterans like AJ Zeppeletti and Michael Caparelli, right? Two good guys as well that have been in FPF for a while. And it seems like you lose your best player, then mistakes happen, then you start to mouth off a little bit. Then the refs sometimes start to mouth off back to you, which you can make the argument there shouldn't be a place for that as well, which is fair. Sure. But again, they're human. And if you're going to talk to them, you have to expect them to talk back to you, right? And it seems like it all kind of combines together to make kind of like a cascading effect where everything just starts to get worse and worse and worse for One Stop.
Yeah, it becomes a slippery slope.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, the whole point of bringing that up is next game, forget about the OCs. Next game, come out and just focus on playing ball. Just play ball and control what you can control, right? It's going to be a bad call. It happens, right? Just bad plays that happen. Worry about what you can control. You guys are off until Thursday, the 2nd. So you guys are off to week 13. Big game against the infantry coming up. So hopefully you guys be back on, get back in the winning path. If you're One Stop.
They play One Stop first, and then they play infantry the next day.
But One Stop plays One Stop?
One Stop plays Fins Up, and then One Stop plays the infantry.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so the schedule has it backwards. Yeah, you're right. Actually, yeah. So it's I don't know why they listed Fins Up as the last game when April 1st comes before April 2nd. But okay, so that's it. Fins Up and then One Stop. So either way, make sure that you guys just focus on playing ball. Don't worry about the refs.
Mm-hmm. Question for you, Party Crashers. 2 games left. They play infantry twice, so you have to play Kevin White twice. Are they going 10-0, or are they going to drop one of these games?
I think they're dropping one of the games. And no disrespect to this team, Party Crashers. Again, they've been the class of the division, like you said, 8-0. I'm looking at their games as of late. Okay, they blew out Royal Luminaire. They blew out ECW. Tight one over Fins Up back in week 10. Kind of a beatdown on ECW again, back on week 10 as well. I just think they are the class of the division for sure. There's no doubt about it. You have the Braves, you have infantry, all those other teams have been here forever. Fins Up, ECW, so on and so forth. One Stop, but no, the Party Crashers are the best team. But I beating Kevin Wyeth twice in a week, I don't see that happening. I think they go 9-1.
And Vultures play Braves, rematch between Vultures and Braves. They played week 1. Vultures won 26-7, but Braves didn't have much of a roster. Do you think Braves get back to their revenge, or Vultures get the win here with the season that they're having under Ben right now? Right now they're 5-2. Their defense is looking great. They won the last 3 games, I think, pretty comfortably. And again, Braves have been struggling, right? They're 5-3. Usually we see Braves at the top of the seedings right now, 9-0. They usually they don't have any losses yet, and if they do, maybe it's probably against Kevin Wyeth in that situation. But right now they dropped a couple few games. Do you think Vultures get out here with a win, or do you think Braves come back and get the revenge?
It's a good question. I mean, it depends, right? Like I said, the Braves game this past week against One Stop, Joe Mahir wasn't there. I'm wondering if he's just an absence, maybe due to being out of town, or maybe an injury. I was talking about this with one of the referees this past week, and he was saying to me as well, he didn't believe that he saw Joe Mahir in the team's last game as well, right? So I'm looking at it right here. Okay, so this is Spicy Braves. Sorry, I'm going back to the Braves here. So he played. He didn't play against ECW. So yeah, so the referee who was talking to us was Jack Nudie. He said, yeah, they're playing ECW. I didn't see him there either. So that was on March 15th. The One Stop game was one day later, this past Monday, March 16th, right? So is it a thing where maybe he was just out of town for the weekend or whatever, or something with the family, or is he injured? So and that's a big thing, right? Because if you don't have Joe Mahir, listen, Will Trache is a great quarterback, and he obviously led the team to a victory this past Monday night, but to not have Mahir there for what would be a third game in a row, I don't know. I don't know, especially against a team like the Vultures, like you said, right? Vultures got the W earlier in the season. And when they got that W, right, like you said, 26-7. Okay, so they were missing a lot of players. Joe Mahia being one of them. I think it'd be a closer game if they play. But looking at how the Vultures have played this season, I say if Mahia is not there or if he's not 100%, I think the Vultures will complete the sweep.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think if William Vultures are their full squad and William Trotse is the quarterback, I think Vultures are gonna get that win. I don't think Meyer's hurt. I'm assuming he's probably the schedule. Again, it doesn't fit everyone's preference. He has his 5 games played, so he can make playoffs. It's not like the biggest deal. And I think for a team like them, even though maybe they don't come in with the best chemistry, let's just say they go 5-4 and sorry, if they go 6-4 around those lines, they've done it before, right? They've won many of championships. They come into playoffs. Everyone's kind of they set the tone nice and early. So I don't think that's gonna affect them that much. So him missing games, I don't think it's the biggest issue. I think they'll be able to bounce back from that. But Will Trotse is definitely not going to be a quarterback that's going to be able to lead them into a lot of wins. I think he'll get wins on teams like One Stop and stuff like that. But when it comes to like teams like Vultures, especially the way Vultures are playing right now, Infantry, um, Infantry, just kind of those more veteran teams and more kind of more sounds. What's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, teams that are more sound. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
stronger teams.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it'll be a bit more difficult for them to get wins on that side.
Okay.
Then we have so we have 4 matchups. After that, Fins Up versus the Infantry. That's going to be on Saturday at the Complex CN, and then we're going to have the next day at 11 p.m. We're going to have Royal Luminary versus EZW. So that's going to be the rest of the matchups for Week 12 for Division 1.
All right.
Go Division 2.
Yes, I'll go over to Division 2 here. So I
Division
put her in an
2
article.
Sorry, go.
No, go.
No, I was gonna say Division 2 is really spicing up. Party Crashers finally got one more win. They've been struggling this year. They've dropped. I think just looking at their schedule, their first win of the season. They got their first win was Week 1 of the season, and then they dropped the last 5, and then now they just got their win versus Flag Slayer Corp. Interesting fact: you had Fred Dupree come back for that game, dropping 52 points. I'm sure maybe there's a pick 6 in that game. Did they get any pick 6s? Yeah, one Zeke got a pick 6. So technically, and the rushing touchdown. So he dropped 4. Let's say he dropped 40 points, but he came back. He came the sub. Seems like it helped, even though they played a struggling Flag Slayer Corp team that's not doing the best with the roster that they do have. It's good to see that they're not forfeiting games and they're making it work and they're playing what they have. So that's also good to see. But Party Crashers, they get their second win of the season in great timing, to be honest with you, because I said it before, this division it's very weird on the top teams. Are kind of the teams that are on the top and the teams that are at the bottom, and we have 3 more weeks before the season kind of ends up. We're gonna have a lot of teams kind of playing 2 games. We had a couple games that teams kind of missed rescheduling, but it's gonna come down to the wire for a lot of these teams. I kind of mentioned about my team. Right now we're 3-5, but we're in playoff mode right now. All our games for us is gonna be playoff mode. Hard 8, same situation. They're 3-4. They're pretty much in a playoff situation too. They Verge Full, same thing for them. They're 3-4. They're going to be playoff situation too. Even teams like Stodix, Camp de Brite, like right now they're 4-3, but if they drop the next 3 games, they're probably not gonna. They're gonna maybe sneak in a playoff spot, but they're not gonna feel comfortable uh, with a record of 4-6, thinking they're gonna get in. They're gonna definitely want to win the next at least one more game. They're gonna have to try to win. So it's gonna be interesting to see how the playoffs are gonna unfold for Division Two.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. So I put out an article last week for Div 2, and I'm looking at just some of the picks that I made. And so I picked the Party Crashers to knock off Flag Slayer Corp. I mean, it's not a huge upset. Record wise, I mean, it's pretty much the same for both teams, really. For the most part, both kind of struggling there. But congrats again to Party Crashers for getting that win. Like you said, Fred Dupree was big in the game. The question though I have for you now going forward is, okay, so you look at Party Crashers, like I said, they got the big win. They snapped that losing streak, right? So now they moved to 2-5. They have Campy Boutte coming up this coming Monday, and then they followed up with you guys with Shot O'Clock and then KGP Legends. Do you think Party Crashers get another win the rest of the way?
It depends who the quarterback is, to be honest with you, because Ezekiel, I'm probably maybe pronouncing it wrong here,
It's
but
Ezekiel.
yeah, he's been struggling. Great
Yeah.
quarterback, great arm. He's able to run, like he does a good job. But just sometimes I feel like he goes deep way too much. So they have a ton of budget. They have a ton of athletes on that team, but I feel like he forces the deep ball way too much, and that's what kind of leads them to like lose track of the game, and that's the reason why I feel like their record is their record. I feel like they're a team where if they're all if they're able to just communicate and kind of everyone be on sync, they would be as good as their Division 1 team.
Right.
Again, it's based on the quarterback as well, but it's not like he's not scoring any points. He's scoring. The Party Crashers are scoring points. They're not getting completely blown out by teams. You see, week 3, they lost by 2. They scored 48. Week 4, it was a close matchup, 14-18. But again, lose by 4. Bruins, they lose 40-38, lose by 2. Hard 8, they lose by 1, 35-34. LeBron Tourage, they lose by 3, 41-38. Then they beat Flag Slayer Corp 52-18. So it's one play away for them to literally could be. I don't really say, but they can be 7-0 to a point where they're one play away, one interception away. I haven't watched all their games, but when you're losing by 2, 2, 2, 1, 3, I mean you're losing by less than one score games. So
Yeah.
I see them winning at least maybe 2 more games. Hopefully, it's not versus my team because we definitely need to win. But I feel like again, Campy Brute is not the greatest team, so I think that's going to be a good game against us. It should be a great game, and then KGP, I think they're gonna outbeat them on athletic. So I think that's where it comes to a point where is when Ezekiel does throw those jump balls to those guys in the back of the end zone, I think that's where they probably could take advantage. But I think they win at least 2 games, minimum one more game before this season ends.
Okay, so this to make sure you're saying, okay, so you're saying that you feel the Party Crashers is going to win at least one, if not 2 games, the rest of the way. Now, is that contingent on if Fred Dupree's a quarterback or if they're saying of Ezekiel Teed?
No, I to be honest, I think they'll be fine with anybody at quarterback. Again, I was kind of how I was saying. I think they have the matchup versus Campy Boutte.
Yeah.
Against us, I think it's gonna be a great matchup going both sides. I think we're both athletic wise. I think we're kind of both the same, like diverse the same way. I think that would be more based on the quarterback who could do less mistakes. And then versus KGP, I think that's going to be an advantage for them. But again, KGP is a team that they've been playing for a while, and Phil Cutler knows what he's doing. He's the type of guy he's gonna take those 3-4 yards. So it might be frustrating for Party Crashers, but again, Party Crashers should have the advantage on offense. So I see them at least winning at least one game. Could be 2. Hopefully
Okay.
it's not 3, because if it's 3, it means they beat us. But definitely at least 1 to 2 more games, and it doesn't matter who the quarterback is.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. Just looking quickly before we jump over to Division 3. Sorry, LeBron Tourage. So I know in their game against Campy Boutin. So the LeBron Tourage are getting the win, 40-33. So it's a big win for LeBron Tourage. So LeBron Tourage, they're coming off of a big win the week before against Hard Eight. They knocked off the Party Crashers. They knocked off the Stoics. So yeah, little bit of a win streak here. They actually knocked off Idaho Utah as well. So LeBron Tourage, again, one of the best teams right now in Division Two. I had picked them actually to knock off Campy Boutin, my pick for game of the week for this past week. So good job by me, I guess, whatever. But great job, definitely by LeBron Tourage. Uh, just trying to find the schedule right now, the rest of the way. So LeBron Tourage coming up next for them. They're taking on, I believe, yeah, they're off. Yeah, so LeBron Tourage is off this weekend. So the
Yeah,
next game for LeBron Tourage
they have
is
flag.
because, yeah, well, against Flag Slayer Corp. Okay, so that's almost like a bye week. No offense, Flag Slayer Corp, but it is what it is. And that's it. That's it for them for the regular season, right? So unless the unthinkable happens against Flag Slayer Corp, LeBron Tourage is going to finish the regular season with a record of 7-3. Is it too early to call them kind of the favorite? I mean, they're in first place, right? They're in first place in this division. Like I said, they knocked off Idaho Utah Pimps, who are in second. Do you think right now is it too early to say LeBron Toronto is a clear favorite right now in Division Two?
Well, yeah, because no, I don't think it's too early because they do get the tiebreak versus Idaho, right? Idaho has 3 more games left. Just looking at their schedule, they play Stodix, Laverge for KGP. So if Idaho wins out the next 3 games, they will finish one. That's for sure.
Okay.
But if for some reason if they do drop at least one of those games, they'll finish 7-3. We'll have LeBron James 7-3, and then you have Bruins also as well, a team where they play Silent Ticklers, Cambute, Hard Eight. So that's gonna be might be a bit more difficult for them as well. And I think LeBron Toronto is going to beat most teams versus points again. So they'll probably win all the tie breaks are there. So I think they will finish in the first seed. But again, I don't know if it's the best thing for a team like that to finish in the first seed, just because you have so many of the bottom teams in first. Like no
Yeah.
disrespect to them, but if I was them, I wouldn't want to play versus a team like us, like shot up clock in the first round. I would rather prefer play versus like a Stodix the first round. But again, I could be a bit biased because it's me. But it's like you're not maybe finishing first isn't the best thing to finish first, playing the 8 seed, just because how all the teams are, just because how the standings are right now. But to answer your question, I wouldn't say it's too early. I would say they should finish the first seed unless for some reason Idaho wins out the next 3 games. If that happens, Idaho's gonna finish number 1 seed because they'll finish 8-2, and the Bronx Royals will be 7-3 unless they lose versus Flag Slayer Corp. But I don't see that happening.
Okay. All right. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Yeah, you mentioned the Bruins. Bruins 2-game losing streak right now. They lost to Idaho Utah Pimps last Monday, and then this past Sunday losing to the shot o'clock. So two consecutive losses over the last 2 weeks. Big game for them tomorrow, taking on the Silent Ticklers. So we'll have to see what happens in that one. That's going to be, I think, my pick for game of the week. Silent Ticklers Bruins tomorrow, Saturday, March 21st, in the main dome, the main field, I should say,
Yeah.
pardon me, in
So
Laval.
your game is happening
Yeah,
at 8:30 in Laval. I mean, it's gonna be too late for them. This podcast is gonna come out probably on Tuesday or
yeah,
Wednesday.
exactly.
So
Yeah,
too late for that. But you guys are playing in
back in the
Laval.
past.
But yeah, my game of the week would be Campy Brute versus Party Crashers, just to see if Party Crasher can make that last minute push. Right now at 2-5, because if they could win an air game, they're tied with everybody else, right? And they put Campy Brute also in a weird situation. Right now, they're 4-3. So if they lose, they go 4-4. Party Crashers jump up, they go 3-5, and then it's to a point where okay, Campy Brute, you're in a situation now. If you guys lose versus Party Crashers, and then you play versus a pretty good Bruins team, and then you play versus a good Hard Eight team, if you drop those next 2 games, you finish the season 4-6, and then you have like again Hard Eight would have, let's say they beat you, they would have a tiebreak against you, so they would jump you. If for some reason Shot O'Clock wins X amount of games too, we'll probably jump you. Same thing for Party Crashers, and they will have the tiebreak against you as well. So it's gonna be interesting to see about all those teams, Stodex, Campi Brute, what's going to be happening with them for the next 2-3 games.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's go to Division 3.
Division 3 standings. So just to kind of get a thing for standings, you have 3, 6, 8 teams that do not make playoffs. So we're kind of coming down to the final stretch here for that, and it seems like there's a lot of teams that still have a chance. You have Raffins, Bet the Under, Mongoose, Benitos, and Hawks, all with about 1 or 2 games left, and you have Nomads right now that are hanging on with a short, a thin thread, uh, being 3-6 with 1 game left, which is going to be a huge game for them, where they're playing Eastway. So for them, they're just kind of looking at the thing that's going to be they're going to need to win that game. If they don't, they're going to have a lot of teams looking to try to bump them out of that playoff standings.
Definitely. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. Le Petit Carrots, only team with one loss, right? So, well, actually, sorry, Le Petit Carrots and Speed Academy, the two teams with only one loss. Petit Carrots are first at 7-1. Speed Academy is like they're tied for 12th, but their record is 4-1-1. So Speed Academy, they have games in hand on everybody in the division. I think they're the only team. It doesn't make sense. There should be another team in here, but yeah, looking at it right here, they're the only team that's played 6 games. So Speed Academy, they control their own destiny. Again, right now they're in 13th, right? Or tied for 12th, I should say. But they have upcoming matchups against the Himothy's. That's going to be tomorrow or Saturday. That actually should be a good game. Two teams that have a lot of speed, hence Speed Academy, Himothy's as well, and then Eastway, the team we were talking about, Bet the Under, and they finish off with Beer Belly Brigade. So kind of a tough schedule actually for Speed Academy, but again, with only one loss in the season, you can't really doubt them right now. And they control their destiny. They could climb up. Looking at the points right now, right? Like I said, they're tied for 12th with the All Blacks, and Speed Academy wins out 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, they could finish, honestly, in top 3 in the division. And again, looking at it right now, right? They really have a chance to really jump some teams. So again, doing the quick math here, they could end up with 15 points. Now, they could finish first if the Petit Carrez don't win another game the rest of the way. I'm not too sure that's gonna happen. But they could finish with the most with the highest 15 points and really do some damage, right? I mean, I don't think they're gonna get 15. I don't think they're gonna win out, but they can win at least 2 out of those 4, even 3 out of those 4.
Sorry, Brent. They could finish with 17 points.
17 points.
Yeah, because
Yeah, yeah. So I'm horrible in math. My bad. Yeah, you're right.
No, you're fine. Yeah, each win is 2, but yeah, they could definitely jump up that standings there, and they, as you were saying, they definitely control their destiny.
Yeah.
Their matchups are not going to be the easiest. I mean, you're not playing versus that many of the bottom teams. Only team that's probably the bottom is Bet the Under, and they're not as bad team. Their defense just struggles a lot, but their offense is still scoring some points. So there's that. But
Himothy's as well. They're 1-7, but I've seen this team play. They're better than you are what your record says you are, but they're better than 1-7. I can say that.
Their offense is better than what they are. Their defense,
exactly.
Their defense is not good at all. They coverages, but their offense, they can score points.
Yeah.
Their team, they could drop 40 points on you, and it'd be like, oh, okay, like how did this team drop 40 on us? But they can drop 40 on you.
They could give up another 40 or 50, but I mean, I hear
that's also true. They could do that. But I think Ballhawks, Benitos, Mongoose, Bet the Under. I believe Raffins are pretty much out. So 1 goal, yeah. So 1 goal, Himpathy. Those teams are on Team Sexy, 1-6. I guess if they win the next 3 games, they do have a chance to go in, make a playoffs. But the 4 teams I kind of mentioned, Bet the Under, Mongoose, Bentos, and Ballhawks, going down the final stretch, they're in playoff mode. It's the point if you win, you're still in playoff content, and you lose, you're out. So it's going to be interesting to see the next couple of weeks. We kind of talk about it when it comes to the final stretch, when it comes to week 11, because there's 15 weeks this season. When it comes out to week 11, week to a week about 15 at the end, it's interesting to see how playoffs unfold and who's going to need wins, especially when it hits week 13, 14. Sometimes it ends up being, well, this team lost, this team lost, this team lost, so it's kind of makes it super easier to see who's going to end. But it seems like this division's good. I think it's going to come down to the final stretch for that 16 spot. I think everybody else, like the Hustlers, Beer Bradley Brigade, Speed Academy, All Blacks. I think all those guys, all those teams are safe. I think they're in. It's really going to be Nomads, and it's going to be a battle between Nomads, Ballhawks, Manitos, Mongoose, and Bet the Under for that last 16 playoff spot. So it's going to be. I'm excited to see how that's going to unfold.
Yeah, definitely. It's again, this is why we sign up, right? Why you guys watch, why everyone plays in that, like going all the way down to week 14 to decide who's in, who's out, and that's how it should be. You hate to see when divisions are decided by like week 8, 9, or 10, right? Going down to the wire, that's how it should be.
Yeah, talking about the Ball Hawks, I kind of mentioned them a bit. They played Terror Squad last night, 2 days, Wednesday. They played Wednesday night, and they lost on pretty much the last play. They went for two, huge shootout. The game finished 45-44 for Terror Squad. They ended up going for two to win the game. And unfortunately, they didn't get it. So they ended up losing that game 45-44. But that would have been a huge win for them in the standings. Um, uh, in the standings to kind of get that next push. So instead, they have 2 games left. So they're going to have to kind of bounce back. And again, we kind of said they play Himothy's and then they play Big Fat Bats. So season's still pretty good, and they have a tie, and they have one of those ties. So that's definitely going to be something that's going to help them. Going into week 12, is there anything that interests you in the teams that are playing?
To be honest, I mean, looking at it here, I had my eyes on this one game I was looking at, like when I was prepping before, and I was like, okay, which game kind of intrigues me the most here? And I'm looking at, I was gonna go Team Sexy and Terra Squad, but I want to, since you're just talking about them, I want to make it a little bit more challenging. I'm looking at Beer Belly Brigade and the Banditos, two veteran teams. A lot of big time players on both teams who have been around the block, right? A lot of guys who have been in FPF for a while and know how to play, and two teams that like to be a little physical too, which is something I always like to see. Yeah, so Banditos and Beer Belly Brigade that's taking place this coming Sunday at Sadie Bear 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. Me, I have a game that I'm interesting to seeing is Beer Bradley Brigade and Killer Rays. Let's begin. It's two veteran teams, two teams that have pretty much that have had the same roster for so long. So I'm sure they played against each other before. I don't know if it's good blood over there or bad blood, but I think that's gonna be a good matchup. And also the Benitos versus pretty much anybody. So they play they also play Beer Belly Brigade, and they play
Bernard Vifs.
Yeah, exactly. So those are two big games for them because right now, as I was saying, they're 2-5. So every game that they play moving forward is gonna matter. So it's gonna be interesting to see. Let's go to Division 4.
Yeah, so we got Foray here. So yeah, big shootout. Sorry, wrong squad, wrong division. My apologies, sir. Yeah, looking at the schedule here. So I believe there's still a couple games now. So yeah, all the games wrapped up for week 11. Yeah, sorry, bit of a shootout. Well, we had a tie, Ball Hawks and Ambush. I mean, that's always something that sticks out. Right, that happened last Saturday. In Broussard, there's also shootout. Sloan and Deli Legions knocking off the Mofos 42-36. So, I mean, at least for me, a tie. I mean, you hate to see the ties, but again, you get 1 point in FPF. You get 1 point for a tie, right? So those ties, they're a pain for the players. People hate them because you want to come out, you want to see a winner and a loser. But listen, that 1 point you get end of the regular season, you need that 1 point to either get into the playoffs or to leapfrog somebody. That tie at 1 point comes in handy.
It does help a lot. Plus, it's also cool that we offer overtime, because before a tie was a tie.
Yep.
It was done. You
Yeah.
tie. Nothing that. So
Yeah.
you kind of get to strategize a little bit differently when the game is, let's just say you're down by 7, and you're not forced to go for that 2 points earlier on.
Yeah.
You kind of go for that one and be like, okay, guys, we have overtime anyways. Let's get the 1 point convert, way easier. And then when it becomes overtime, then that's when you kind of make your decision. I was actually laughing. We played a team on my Division 5 team. We played what was their team name? Spartans. We played Spartans, and so ended up being a tie game. And what happens in tie game? Both captains meet up with the refs. Same thing, heads or tails. The winning person that calls it gets to decide if they want to go for 2 or 1. Those are options. Usually, if you want to go for 1, because the other team is forced to go for 2. So if you get the 1 point convert, the opposite team has to go for 2. You can't go, okay, I go for 1, then we go tie. During the playoffs, whole different situation there. But during the regular season, you're forced to go for 2 if you get that 1 point convert. So they decided, they won the toss. They decided to go for 2, which didn't make any sense, because if you get the 2, we still get the option to go for 2. We can't go for 3 because it's not a thing.
Yeah.
So we get, but I was just like, you're making it so much difficult. Like, don't get me wrong. If you got a 2 point convert, like, my hat's off to you, like, good job. But it's the point, if you don't get that, then we just have to go for 1, and we put you guys in the situation. Compared to you guys winning the toss, you get the ball, you go for 1. If you get it, then we're forced to go for 2. So they went for 2, they didn't get it. We went for 1, we got it, and we won the game, which was huge for our team. We'll talk about that more when we get to Division 5. But just for people to know, if you guys win that toss and you have an option to go for 1 or 2, go for the 1 and force the team to go for a 2. Unless you have a crazy play call and you're like, oh, this 2 point convert's gonna work. But not a lot of teams can convert a 2 point convert, especially so late in the game, because you showed so much of your plays. Everyone kind of feels comfortable in a lot of the situations. So go for that 1 point, get the 1 point, force the team to go for 2. Usually they shouldn't get it, and then everyone gets to go home with a win. Well, your team gets to go home with a win.
Yeah, I find it like, so for the teams, like, let's be real. Most Division 1 teams, even some Division 2, but mainly Division 1, they're always going for 2. That I can understand. That's different. But like these other teams in some of the lower middle divisions, go make it easier on yourself and go for 1. I feel like going for 2 when you win that coin toss in overtime is equivalent for like going for like on like 4th and 5, your own end of the field, like your own 30 or 35-yard line. Yeah, we're still gonna go for it. Nah, you need to punt.
You're making it so much. You're making it so much difficult when you don't have to make it difficult. Go for the 1 point. Even if you miss it, it's like, okay, we missed it. Now they have to go for 1. You have to play defense. But if you get that 1 point cover, it puts so much more pressure on the other team, because now they have to go for 2.
Yep.
So
exactly, 100%. I know we don't talk about 35 plus on this podcast. I've been asked to do it by some of the 35 plus players. I mean, that's a conversation we'll have with Jeff maybe going forward. I saw a team go for the onside kick after their 3rd touchdown of the game, and it was a veteran team. We talked about Jordan Panetta. Well, Silent Ticklers, he was on this team. It was Jordan Panetta, Tanner Burrell, a bunch of veteran guys have been in FPF for like a million years, have won championships. And Tanner came to the sideline. He's like, "Yeah, we're going for it now," because it was before the end of the first half. So they had scored the 3rd touchdown of the game.
That's when you want to do it.
Okay. So I wanted to ask you about that. So you think it's justified going for it then?
Yeah, you could put a team in a really bad spot into certain situations. I've thought about it once. I didn't do it because I was like, oh, my teammates are going to think I'm crazy at the time. But we were up 12-0. We just scored. We were up 12-0. It was a defensive game. I think there was maybe a minute left in the game, and we were getting ball back second half. So it was to a point where in our head we're like, okay, we go for onside kick. If we get the onside kick, we're still going to have a good 30, 40 seconds left, plus a timeout because we don't need our timeout anymore. We get the onside kick. If you get the onside kick, right, then you have X amount of seconds to score. But if you score again, you go up, then it's 18-0. Plus, you get the ball in the second half. So you can make it 24-0 before they're able to score and get a chance to get the ball back, you know? So you put up 12, you go to onside kick. So if their offense doesn't touch the ball, if you get it, it means whatever you try to score. If you don't get it, you still get the ball back second half. It means their offense hasn't been on for the last 10 minutes, let's just say. So it could put them in a really weird situation. I do see teams, it doesn't happen often enough. I'm pretty sure there has to be some math to it. But again, are some stats to it to see, like, you know, on the NFL how they have statistics on fourth down or whatever. I'm sure I'm sure there has to be some type of stats on that. But yeah,
there are 100% there is.
So I'm 100%. I like, again, depending who's on your team, because you could maybe cause a fight in your huddle or whatever. Like, why are we going for onside kick? Let's just play defense like that. But also you have some guys that are probably like, yeah, let's go for onside kick. Let's make it like a higher possession game, you know? So it depends on your team, maybe depends on division, depend on the momentum. But a lot of times, like, the momentum's going, you're up by 12. Like in the situation I didn't pull the trigger because I was just like, oh, I don't know what's going, like, you know. But if you have enough guys, like, go onside kick, go up, you get score 18-0, then you get the ball back second half, you score again 24-0. No team's coming back from that. Their offense didn't touch the field for the last 10 minutes. You guys have all momentum. Like, the game's over. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I'll say that. So there's a team called FlagPlus in the 35 plus division. They're taking on Povich. So the score gave FlagPlus a 19-12 lead. So score kept this game. They did not get the onside pass off. It was incomplete. The other team got the ball back, didn't score either to end the first half. Anyways, long story short, Povich won the game 32-31.
Yeah. Well, and that's converts too, right? That's, you can look at converts at that point too.
True. But they have one less convert being FlagPlus, and I don't know. I feel like they should have. I understand your breakdown was great, by the way. I understand why you say that. I just think I'd like to save the onside. It doesn't have to be the end of the game, but I don't know. I think a little later in the second half.
You definitely like to have it, but sometimes if you're able to do that, you don't need it. You know, like, again, 19-14 is a bit different. If they got the onside kick, I'm assuming they probably would have up 25-14. So you go up 2 possessions, anyways. So it's a bit different, but also you also want to see how much time is left, right? If there's not a lot of time left, if you don't get it, it means the other team has to score, but depends if you guys make a catch and they deflag you, but most of the time, usually the ball goes over the head, or it's usually on the 5-yard line. Usually that you don't usually get the ball back midfield in that situation. But again, it depends how much time is left. If there's 30 seconds left, you give the ball back to their team. They have maybe 2-3 plays, depending how long they do their plays. So
but that's what it was. They had the pass got knocked away, so incomplete because the Povich defense was smart. They knocked the ball away. They got the ball to their opponent's 5. And then I think it was with 2 plays left, and I think Povich was able to.
So there's also that.
I can say right now, did they bang it into the end zone? Did they get it in? They did not get into the end zone. So, okay, so a big stand by the FlagPlus defense, but again, they ended up losing the game by 1 point. I understand your reasoning. I just think, I don't know, losing a conversion was also the difference in that game.
Yeah, it's very true. I mean, it could have won. Well, it could have won both ways depending on the situation. Again, as we're kind of saying, if they got the convert, if they got the onside, everything's completely different, right? You're not kind of questioning.
They would look like geniuses if they would have got it for sure, 100%.
It's like the same, like Dan Campbell, you know, like Detroit Lions coach.
He goes for it too much, man. On 4th down, like I'm not a Lions fan, but he goes for it way too much. No,
exactly. But like, don't get me wrong, though. If you're a Lions fan and you're watching him, and he's going on a 4th down, and you guys convert it, you're clapping your hands. You're saying, that's my coach. He knows what he's doing. When he doesn't convert it, you're going, what the hell is this guy doing? Why is he doing this? Why do we not just kick the field goal? Oh, we lost by 3 points. Completely different story when these guys, they lose by 2, they lose by 1. Oh, we lost 3 points here. But when things are rolling, he's going on a 4th down, he's getting converted, and then all of a sudden they're scoring touchdowns. It's a party, you know? But when things are not going how it's planned, going for those 4th downs, getting stopped, other teams driving down, scoring those points, losing points on the board, it's a complete different story. So I feel like it's kind of like the same situation here.
I'll tell you quickly. Listen, again, like I said, I'm a Niners fan. And listen, Dan Campbell was my man. Dan Campbell was my man when we beat them in the NFC Championship game, 2024, 34-31. Why? Because Dan Campbell did not want to punt or kick field goals. It was fine by me. It was fine by me.
There you go. You know, but if for some reason if he converted whatever the thing and they scored, maybe they win that game, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, this guy's a genius. It's a good thing we didn't give all the ball back." You know,
I hear you. Or maybe if he punts the ball and plays some defense, they could have won the game too. But hey, I wasn't complaining. It's fine by me. It's fine by me. We played the Super Bowl, but hey, whatever it is, what it is. We got there. So
yeah, at least you guys got there. You guys could have lost, right? You guys could have lost to Dan Campbell. Looking at week 11. We had an ambush. They played 2 games. We kind of talked about the tie that happened, and then they end up being the last chance. So that's a kind of a big game by ambush. Then you had Ball Hawks on Wednesday. They actually lost versus Are You Not Entertained? So they went from a tie to a loss. So not the best situation for them. Right now, they're in the 12th seed. Four teams don't make this. Four teams don't make playoffs. So they're kind of in a sticky situation. They do have that tie, which that tie is a huge tie for them because no teams with 2 wins could bump them out. So right now you have Bible study at 2-4. So they need Bible study to lose their next 4 games. And they need to win their last game. Their last game is against the Ducks. So the Ducks right now are probably one of the top teams. So Richie,
they're second place, the Ducks.
Richie, if you're listening, you got a big job to do. Because the Ducks they're here. They're a good team. Ducks is a very good team. They're 6-1 for a reason. And you guys are most likely going to need at least one more win to make that jump, right? You have Mofos that are 3-4. You have Rick and Marty that are 3-4. Back to the Future that are 3-1. You won't beat out Back to the Future just because of the tiebreak with the points against. But if you can win your next game, you go 3-6-1, and then for the meantime, you do bump out Mofos and Rick and Marty because you'll have that tiebreak against them. But I don't think you'll be able to survive at, let's just say, 2-7-1. I don't think you're going to be able to make playoffs because you still have Team Ethnic that are 1-5. They have 4 games left, which is a lot of games. Bible study, 4 games left, a lot of games.
Yeah.
Nighthawks, they just need to win at least one more game, and then you probably beat them more points again, so it's not the best thing. And then the last chance, I think it's the same situation for them. You probably beat them out. They have 2 teams with still 4 games left, right? So
but I say like last chance has 1 game in hand, so they have 2 games left again. But like you said, the Ball Hawks, the record is what the record is. But again, it's the games, right? Like you said, the remaining games they only have 1. Versus, like I said, Bible Study has 4. Team Ethnic has 4. Not to say these guys are going to win like 3 or 4 of those games, but the fact that games in hand, this is where it matters most, right? And even last chance, like I said, they have 1 game in hand on the Ball Hawks. So the Ball Hawks need to win, but they also need to get some help. That's what the problem is. I don't. Yeah. I mean, Rich is my buddy, but like I really don't think the Ball Hawks are going to be able to make the playoffs. Again, the record is the main reason, but it's also the lack of games left on their schedule is the number 1 factor why I think the Ball Hawks won't make the playoffs.
Yeah, they're in a really bad situation. But again, remember, there's only 2 teams that can bump them out: Bible Study and Team Ethic. So Team Ethic, looking at their schedule, they play Ducks. That's going to be a hard game for them. They play the Last Chance. That's going to be close. Looking how Team Ethic's going to play. Then they got Mofos and Back to the Future. So they don't play teams. All those Mofos are 3-4. Back to the Future are 3-3. So they don't play like they will. I mean,
Yeah,
a lot of
it's a
teams.
bunch of teams who are hovering around 500. I hear you,
Yeah,
but they both play the Ducks, right? The Ducks have the second best defense in the entire division, right? The only team
yeah.
that's a lot less points is actually sorry third best, Mofos and Back to the Future. But again, those teams again, well, actually they play the same amount of games. I don't like the chances again of the Ducks losing. Actually, I don't think the Ducks are going to lose the rest of the way. To be honest with you.
Either I don't see the Ducks losing any more games, but I mean
Yeah,
it does help the Ballhawks at the fact that these teams, other than what Team Ethic is playing the last chance, I mean that should be a win for them. That they should be happy about that.
should
But if
be, should be. Yeah.
the Ballhawks like I guess 2-7, I guess 2-7-1, you have that lucky tie. Like, do I see Bible studies drop in the next 4 games where they play none and run? I think they could lose that game. They play ambush. I think they could lose that game. They play Back to the Future. I think they could lose that game. They play Rick and Marty. I also think they could lose that game. Bible studies haven't been the best team right now. They lost versus the Last Chance, which is probably the most struggling team, and then they lost versus Ballhawks,
Right.
51-8. So Bible studies are struggling right now. Like, I'm not sure. Maybe it's a roster situation. Maybe they're missing some guys. But I mean, that's a good sign for Ballhawks. I'm sorry, Bible study struggling now, so it's a good sign for Ballhawks. And then Team Ethic, again, they play the Last Chance. That's going to be a must win for them. Ducks going to be very difficult. And then Mofos versus Back to the Future, that's going to be 50-50. So it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the season kind of unfolds for that 12th spot playoff, that 12th playoff spot. Because I think everybody, Rick and Marty, Mofos, I think all those teams are they're fine. Like everybody, 11-1. Congratulations, you guys are in playoffs. I don't see a way you guys are not in playoffs, even unless you drop one of your next games and then Ballhawks win. I don't think Ballhawks are being the Ducks, so.
I'd be shocked.
Yeah, me too. I'll be shocked. Unless maybe Richie just has a really good game and Ducks don't. That's also that could happen.
Yeah.
Going into week 12, game of the week. What do you got?
It's a good question. I don't know here. It's kind of wavering a little bit as I get the schedule here. I'm gonna get off the fence here. I'm gonna roll here. I think you know what I want to see. I said earlier I was gonna go Trap Stars and Rick and Marty to myself, but yeah, I'm gonna stick with that one. Trap Stars against Rick and Marty.
Okay, should be a good game. Rick and Marty actually have 2 big games coming up. Because again, if they end up losing the next 2 games, they only have 1 game left versus Bible study, and that might be, I guess, if Ballhawks win. I mean, it's kind of if they do end up winning versus Ducks. I mean, they could put Ricky Martin in a weird situation as well too. But okay, so Trap Stars versus Rick and Marty. I'm gonna go Rick and Marty versus Back to the Future. 2 teams are kind of pretty much have a secure playoff spot. That's gonna be interesting. And also None and Run versus Bible Study. Again, Bible Study right now, it's do or die to a point. You do have 4 games left, but your schedule is not easy at all. So a None and Run team is definitely a team you're gonna want to try to take advantage. I think this is probably the weakest team you're gonna play against in the next couple weeks. So you're definitely gonna try to want to get a win from them.
Yeah, cool. All right, let's go to
4B.
4B. Yeah. All right. So yeah, looking at 4B right here. Sorry. We're getting some instructions from Ali Reza. Okay, so yeah, looking at 4B right here, schedule. Super Saiyans. They got their first W of the season. Congrats, gentlemen. 43-38 over Flight School VC. Buddy mine, Jordan Allard, obviously the quarterback, one of the captains of this team. 186 yards, 5 touchdowns. in the win. Like I said, it's the first W of the season for the squad. Again, they were in some tight games. They were in some blows as well, but Super Saiyans again finally getting that first win. So the record goes to 1-6-1 now. Again, with this 43-38 victory over Fly School VC.
Yeah, it's about time. Much needed win. To be honest, and they're not out of playoffs yet. They're 1-6-1, so they do have that tie, which is pretty good. They have 2 games left. Looking at their schedule, they got Uncle Rico Riders versus and Balls Deep. So you have Uncle Rico Riders are now 4-3 at the 8th seed, and Balls Deep 4-4 at the 7th seed. So you're kind of playing the middle of the pack.
Yeah.
Then you have to pretty much hope Brewers and Grab a Leaf. Those are the 2 teams you're kind of looking to kind of bump out. Grab a Leaf is 3-5, so if they lose the next 2 games, they finish 3-7. Super Saiyans have a tie, which is huge. So if they could win their next 2 games, they finish 3-6-1, and they got that tie break. They have that tie, which is huge for them. And then Brewers, they right now they do have the tiebreak on them, but Brewers have the tiebreak on Super Saiyans because they beat them. But other than that, the tie is actually going to be huge, unless again Super Saiyans have been struggling, so it's a bit different to kind of to say. But I don't see Brewers winning one more. I don't think they're going to win another game.
Yeah.
They play
No,
Bandits.
yeah. Okay.
Bandits, Flight School, and
PC,
Studs.
yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. I mean, so actually speaking of those 2 teams, Grab Belief actually just knocked off the Brewers the other day. That was 38. Hold on, I had it here on my screen. Yeah, they beat them 36-26 on the 15th. So that was just last Sunday. So a big win there for Grab Belief. Yeah, but you're speaking to your point. I don't think the Brewers part of me are gonna be winning a game the rest of the way, unfortunately.
Yeah, so it's gonna be.
I could be wrong. I hope they prove me wrong, but
yeah, for sure. Peace. If you guys want to prove us wrong, prove us wrong. It is what it is. But you mean again, playoffs is gonna be interesting. Flight School 1 goal, Uncle Rico Riles, Balls Deep, Castle 12, Peckers going forward. Congratulations, you guys are in the playoffs. There's no way you guys don't make it mathematically. So there's that, and then
I know.
the teams that are kind of struggling right now are Dirty Dog, Super Saiyans, and Brewers and Grab a Leaf. Sorry, my dog just came out of nowhere. That are going to be fighting for that playoff spot.
Yep. I know No Flight's given again. They extended their undefeated streak. They're 7-0. They're coming off of a big W last Saturday against 1 goal, kind of a blowout, 43-12. So congrats to those guys being undefeated. I know their next game is coming up this coming Tuesday against the Studs. So we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah,
in that one
right now is playing pretty well. I want to say he has the most passing yards. I could be wrong. Passing yards. Where is he? He's at. No, actually, he's only played 7. So flags given, they are 7-0. He actually hasn't thrown for that many yards. He's thrown for 1,306 yards, 34 touchdowns, and 2 INTs. So I mean, like, if you're looking at the quarterback, he's pretty much his touchdown to interception ratio is pretty crazy compared to everybody else. But I'm curious to know if he's going to be able to get QB of the year with stats like that, because there's also some quarterbacks that have thrown maybe 5 or 6 more touchdowns plus extra 200 plus yards, and then they have maybe 3 to 5 more INTs. So it's gonna be interesting to see like how much affects how the interceptions affect the touchdown and passing yard ratio to win a quarterback of the year award.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting to see. But just to I thought he had more yards than he had, but I guess his defense is also the best defense, so he doesn't get as much offensive possessions either.
Yeah. All right. Top over to Division 4B here.
Yeah, we're in 5A.
Oh, sorry, 5A. Sorry, no, you're right. 5A. My apologies. Yep, sorry, 5A. I actually meant 5A. I thought for some reason I thought it was 4B. So looking at the schedule here, so one thing I noticed from this past week, so there were a total of five, six, 8 games played this past week. Well, technically seven because Richter and kicking assets that was supposed to take place last Friday. That was a forfeit. So Richter winning by a score of 30-0. So oh, sorry, today. Sorry, yeah, today. My apologies. Yeah, today's the 20th. Yes, okay. So kicking assets already forfeited that game, so that's why you see on the screen on the schedule it says 30-0 Richter. So Richter, it appears kicking assets did what teams are supposed to do and gave at least 24 hours notice to Richter, so people don't have to waste their time going there. So Richter 30-0 victory by forfeit. Okay, so out of the remaining 7 games that took place, so yeah, 7 of the games that took place, right? So that means there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 games were played, or for 14 teams, I should say, took part in those remaining 7 games. Out of those 14 teams, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that scored more than 30 points. So scoring was definitely was a struggle in week 11 for this Division 5A. Again, only a handful of teams scoring more than 30 points last week. That's something that stood out to me because again, usually again, flag is an offensive league, and a lot of the rules are in place to help out the offense. And again, only a couple handful of teams, only a couple of teams scoring more than 30 points.
Mm-hmm. It's also crazy that his kicking assets kind of needed to win that game. So the fact that they forfeited, I mean, it's not the best situation because if they would have won 4-5 with 1 game left, I think they would have secured their playoff spot. But
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it is what
Yeah,
it
because you
is.
look at it, right? Like it's the top 14 teams make it. There's a wild card round, right? So it's the top 14 teams make it. And
Yeah,
kicking assets right now, you look at it, right? They're sitting and they're
14.
in 14th. They're in that 14th place, right? But again, so they have 9, they're 3-6 because of that forfeit loss, right? But all the teams behind them, Superbach, TD Brothers, Victoria's Secret, Toon Squad, and the Pigeons and New Kids all are just 2 points behind kicking assets.
Yeah,
All those teams, except for the Pigeons, have at least one game in hand on kicking assets. Most of them have two, actually.
yeah, and kicking Athens play Texas Wales as their last game this season. So I mean,
Yep.
it's gonna be
Yep.
a hard game for them to win. So if they
Oh
lose
yeah.
that game, they finish 3-7, as you're saying, 3-7 with 6 points, and then you have five. You have about 3 teams with 3 games left, and then you have 2 teams with 2 games. You have 2 teams with 2 games left, or 2 games left, because you also have Code Red as well. Now maybe you could sneak in with 3-6-1, and they will bump out kicking assets too. Um, so it's unfortunate they forfeit that game because it might be the reason why they don't make the playoffs this season.
I know
Look,
quickly. So I was just gonna
sorry.
say, the Thunder Buddies still 7-0 in the division, right? They have a couple games in hand, right, as well, right? They're behind. So View Links are 8-1, so they have 16 points. They're tied with College Jean Vanny alumni who both have 16 points, right? So they're tied atop of the division, but Thunder Buddies 2 points behind them with 14 points, right? But again, they have 2 games in hand on View Links and there's College Jean Vanny alumni, right? For Thunder Buddies, I'm looking at their schedule here. They're taking on. They have perfect timing, voodoo, and deep balls, right? So I mean, all those are winnable games for Thunder Buddies. So I honestly think when it's all said and done, Thunder Buddies will be in first place in this division at
Yeah,
the end of the regular
I mean,
season.
perfect timing is 5-2-1. Voodoo's four and
Yeah,
three. Deep balls is 3-4-1. So I mean, I think the one team that's probably gonna put the most pressure on them is perfect timing. It's a pretty
yeah,
well
yeah.
split team in general, and they're 5-2-1, but they definitely could be by then. If they finish, let's just say they finish 7-2-1, they're probably gonna be one of the top of the teams, right? Um, so it's gonna be interesting. But I think that's the only team that's gonna be able to threaten Thunder Buddies' perfect season moving forward.
All right. Let's go to 5B. So bend don't break again. Still undefeated, 8-0 on a regular season. So congrats to those guys looking to complete their path to perfection. I'm trying to see their last game. So they're playing. Sorry, moved too far ahead in the schedule there. Bend don't break. The last game.
So they just beat Green Monster Family.
Okay, yeah.
They beat the Green Monster Family 33-12, and then their last two games they play the Prep Lexers and then Catch a Flex.
Yeah.
And then if you
see right here, Professors and Catch a Flex, yeah.
Yeah, so the Prep Lexers are struggling right now. They're 2-5, so I mean, looks pretty good for them. And then Catch a Flex is 5-2 with probably one of the best defenses right now. So it's gonna be they're gonna play a game that they should win and a game that's gonna be really interesting.
I can't lie. I've seen Catch a Flex before. Okay, they're a decent team. They're definitely a decent team. I like the name. The Perplexers, like I for some reason I had remember seeing them early in the season, and then the name just stuck out to me again. I was like, okay, it's true. Again, I apologize. There's way too many teams to cover here. Yeah, the Perplexers. I like that name. Like when you perplex somebody, obviously that means to confuse them, and I like that name. I'm giving some props to these guys for the name of their team. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, to be honest, it's the first time I kind of see their name because again, there's a lot of teams, a lot of divisions, and they're not the top team, right? So they're more the bottom. So I think it kind of just like kind of goes under the rug to a certain point. But yeah, no, it's cool.
I have seen them play. I'm sorry, I'm mistaken. I have seen them play.
Okay.
I score kept the game. They were in Saint Laurent way early in the season. I remember seeing their jerseys. I don't know if you have time, if you can go to the page and get it on your screen. These guys, I saw their jerseys and I'm like, this is a soccer team. 100%. This is a soccer team.
Or rugby. I'm looking at their jerseys. Rugby.
Yeah, I've seen some of these guys play flag before. 100%. I've seen some of these guys play flag. But I'm saying their jerseys like that's repping like soccer to its finest. Like I've seen. Well, George Spano has been in the league for a long time. I've seen him play before. Zachary Knott, I've seen him play. Zachary Masha Monaco. I've seen these guys play a lot. So they're definitely an FPF team. It's just that those jerseys are like have soccer written all over it. Great job, guys. Great name and solid jerseys. No, they're never gonna have to wear pennies ever. Any game they play, they're never gonna have to wear pennies.
Yeah, that's very true. That should be the new thing. Playing jerseys like that, like you should never be able to wear pay unless the team copies you, and that's a whole different situation. But I don't think anything really regarding the standings. So it's such a big team. Everything's kind of wide open still. You have Chamonix Shoals, McGill Swim Team are the two bottom teams that are kind of right now. Sorry, the two teams that are holding that 13, that 14 playoff spot. And then you have South Shore Crash Outs, Green Monsters, TD Blitz, and then the Prep Lexers, the team we just talked about. They're also those are the three teams that are trying to make a playoff push. But again, it's kind of hard. It's hard to tell now because there's so many games left, and McGill Swim Team still has 4 games left, which is kind of crazy to like see. Like also Angry Birds. There's so many teams that have so many games left. I know it's week 11. You're like, well, there's 4 more weeks, but you have teams that have like 9 games. You have teams that have 1 game left, and you have teams that have 4 games. left.
Yeah.
Like it's very. I think it must benefit the teams with that have 4 games left because you kind of can see what you need and what you don't need. You know, like.
Yeah, man, that's it. Yeah, exactly. I will say I'm still pulling for 7-Eleven. They're 0-7 right now. I hope 7-Eleven can open up and find it's a horrible play on words. I've been fighting their first win of the year. They got the Perplexers tomorrow, Emperor's Retrete Sunday, so back-to-back games on back-to-back days, and they finish off the Sunday after against McGill Swim Team. So some tough teams. I'm pulling though for 7-Eleven to get that win because I hate to see teams go winless.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Let's go Division 5C.
There's a 5C. No, I'm joking. All right. So yeah, man, looking at it here, with the 5C. So like a ton of games taking place over the next couple of days. A lot of them tomorrow. So this weekend is like full of games, and then I know Monday there's one, and Wednesday it finishes off with over underachievers, deep balls, and the Peu de Bec against LVL Jap Boys. LVL Jap Boys actually have two games this week. They take on the Shockers as well, right? So a lot of big games. Again, not too much in the standings has been settled yet. So teams are looking to again solidify their spots. Other teams looking to climb the standings here in Division 5C.
Yeah, we have a lot. We have also have three teams that haven't won a game yet. We have deep balls, shockers, and over underachievers. So hopefully that changes in the next couple of weeks. And then we have two teams, TDs and Big Ds and LVL Jack Boys. You kind of mentioned they're 3-4. They're both 3-4, and they're out of a playoff spot. So it's going to be very interesting. No offense to Bonnie Blues Clues, Sand Pressing, over underachievers, shockers, deep balls, but it's gonna be hard for you to make a playoff push right now. But LVO, Jack Boys, TDs, and BD and Big Ds, it's interesting to see that they're 3-4. They're not in a playoff spot right now. You have what could have been and Dixie Rec that are ahead of them with also 4 games left and 3 games left. So these 4 teams, I want to say it's going to be very interesting. And you see, even Legend of Goon, Flag Dealers, Old Pats, all these teams have 4 wins as well. It takes LVO Jack Boys to win 2 of their next games. They jump up as 5-4. TDs, they do 1 game, and then you could like maybe not even make playoffs going 500.
Yeah, sure. No, you're right, and that's what I said. That's why I said. That's why I started with like nothing's really settled yet because it's really fluid. Like you said, like teams you talked about, right? Like LVO Jap Boys, they win 1 or 2 of these games, they can make a huge jump. There's some teams again, like I said, still on the outside trying to get in. Okay, again, over underachievers, shockers, and deep balls. Again, like you said, are winless. I mean, they all have 3 games left. Maybe they can get off the schneid and get a win before it's all said and done. But nothing's really settled. I mean, you look at the top of the division, right? You have Vice City 7-1 with 14 points. They're tied with the Panthers who are 7-1, and the Studs. Studs are 7-0, right? In this division. So they have 3 games remaining. And if they can win out, they're obviously going to automatically finish in first place, right? They have Bonnie's Blues Clues, Cavaliers of Rohan, and over underachievers. So if I'm the Studs, you still got to play. And again, Cavaliers of Rohan 5-2, so can't disrespect them.
Yeah,
but if you're able to get past Cavaliers of Rohan, there's a pretty good chance you're going to finish 10-0 if you're the Studs.
You get that first seed. Yeah, so like even as you're kind of saying, the top is not certain and the bottom is definitely not certain. So we're going to be into a wild last 4 weeks of the season to kind of see who's going to be in playoffs, who's going to be the top seed in playoffs, and then who's just not going to make playoffs. So it's going to be very interesting to kind of see, especially all the matchups that are coming up and stuff like that. Like TDs and Big Ds versus Dixie Rex, like all those. There's so many games coming up this week where it's going to matter for a lot of these teams, and it's going like maybe we come down to like maybe week 14, we're going to have a better view on who's going to be in.
Yeah.
But right now it's up for grabs. So a lot of good football that's going to be being played the next couple weeks for Division 5C. Let's go to 6A or 6B. No, 6A. Sorry.
6A. Yeah, looking at it right here. So I know sophomore Excel exchange students had a big win over the Gamblers last Saturday, but then they fell flat 26-8. Then they fell flat this past Monday against Maule this Monday in Stade de Soccer. Multi-scoregasm 13-7 win over Chapeau Perdu. So that's a big win for those guys. For multi-scoregasm, they move up to 9th with that win. They were kind of close, at least points wise. They were 2 points up, on Chapeau Perdu. Now big win for them. They jump up all the way to 9th place. So that's huge for them. Look at the standings. Obviously, 12 teams make the dance. So Chapeau Perdu, because of the loss, they're in that 12th seed right now. So they're 2 points up on Sweet Bonanza and the Gamblers, who are 1-5 and 1-7 respectively.
Yeah, and again, Sweet Bonanza has 4 games left, so it's not like Chapeau Perdu is in the clear. Same thing for Vengeance. I mean, you're feeling better being 3-4-1. That tie is pretty big for you, but you don't feel as comfortable, Sweet Bonanza could win their next, let's say they win their next 2-3 games. And then Chapeau Pedro as well. If they win at least 2 more games, I mean, they can still bump out the Vengeance. So right now, the
Yeah.
only team that's looking out the playoffs is the Vengeance. I
Yeah.
think that's the only thing that could get kind of caught from any of these teams. But again, that tie does help a lot. So the team that's really on the bubble is Chapeau Pedro with 2 games left. They got Sweet Bonanza, which is going to be a huge game.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's also
Exactly.
going to be a big game because it's going to be coming the standings. But Sweet Bonanza versus Chapeau Pedro is going to be a big game. It's to a point where if Sweet Bonanza could get a win out of that game, and then maybe try to sneak one versus Sophomore XL, that's been, they've been up and they've been down. I know they won the last
Yeah.
3 games in a row. Now they just lost one. So I mean, if they could try to sneak one there, they could finish the season 3-7, and they'll have the tiebreak versus Chapeau Pedro. Even if Chapeau Pedro wins their last, they have 2 more games left. They play Sweet Bonanza and Vengeance. So if they lose versus Vengeance, if they beat Vengeance and they beat and lose for Sweet Bonanza, if they win 2 of their next 4 games, they will have that tie break, and they'll be able to bump them out. So, huge game between Sweet Bonanza and
Yeah, Chapeau Purdue.
yeah, that's going to be a
So
huge coming up. And then,
so
sorry,
so I was gonna say, so Sweet Bonanza, like I said, Chapeau Purdue, Sweet Bonanza, that's this Wednesday. Sunday, so a couple days before, Sweet Bonanza is actually taking on Only Flags. So two really big games for Sweet Bonanza. Obviously, Chapeau Purdue is a bigger game, but if you're Sweet Bonanza, if you can knock off Only Flags, pull off an upset, then you really be in business. Then the game against Chapeau Purdue takes on even that much more importance.
yeah, exactly. So that's why sometimes it benefits them, right? They have 4 games left, and they kind of hold their destiny to see if they're going to make playoffs
Yep,
or
yep,
not.
yep.
So I mean, that's always a good thing. Whereas it's the point where you don't feel hopeless. Let's just say for Chapeau Pedro, when their 2 games they're done, like they're just kind of waiting to see what's going to happen. Also, Chapeau Pedro have only scored 77 points so far this season. They're averaging 10 points a game.
Yep, yep. Yeah.
That's crazy.
The fact that
So
they're still in the playoff hunt
yeah,
it tells you all you
yeah.
need to know.
That's the thing that's crazy. You're in the playoff hunt,
Yeah,
and you've only scored 10 points a game. That's crazy.
yeah. Good
Let's finish
defense.
this off with 6B.
Yeah.
So looking at it for 6B, kind of just going to the standings. We have 3 teams that don't make it, and again, everything's super open. Um, Wow, Goodfellas only scored 4 points so far. That's crazy. So we have the top teams and we have the bottom teams. Pookie Bears, Skillas, Delicious and Delicious, the Mighty Schmucks. All those teams are pretty much, you guys are good. Congratulations, you're making playoff stables, Ballers, just the Studio Jokers as well. And then we're kind of, when we get to the bottom, we're looking at Whole Patrol, Triple A, Nard Dogs, and Mobile. That's when it gets kind of interesting because you have Fantasy Stars right now are 2-5 with 3 games left, and all these other teams. You have 4 teams that have won 2 games as well. So it's going to be interesting to see if Fantasy Stars could get some wins here. Their defense isn't the best. That's the reason why they're in the 13th seed and they're not qualified for the playoffs right now. But again, if they could get one more win, then they make the jump. Unfortunately for them, they play Puka Bears, secure, skill, Skillrillas, and then they
Screwless.
play, Nardogs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they play 2 of the top teams, and then Nardogs, I want to say, are 2-5, so that's also going to be huge for them. But it sucks that they have to play 2 top teams, and then they can maybe have a playoff matchup between Nardogs that play Triple A, the Studio Jokers, J Jokers, and they end up with Fantasy Stars. So it's gonna be very like lot of work. There's still a lot of things that kind of happen in Division 6B.
Yeah.
With everything that's going on, and the fact that it's still kind of open. The Goblins as well, they're 1-7. I mean, they're still they only all they have to do is win one more game and they're in a playoff hunt.
Well, yeah, but that's it. Listen, the entire division is still up for grabs. Like at least in terms of making the playoffs. Goodfellas, like I said, 0-6, yeah, 24 points scored. I hope I'm wrong. I don't see the Goodfellas winning a game again, averaging pretty much 4 points a game.
Yeah,
but if they somehow find some kind of tonic, they help with their offense. They have only 6 games played, right? Let's say I doubt it. I doubt it happens, but let's say they win out, or let's say they win out of the remaining 4. Let's say if they win 3 of them, they could make the playoffs.
Yeah,
will it happen?
I doubt it. I don't. I'm just gonna kill this right now. They're definitely not. I've seen them play. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah.
They're learning. It's a learning process.
Gotta give hope. You have to give some hope. Give some hope. Come on, man.
I'm just gonna end this. There's no hope there. There is hope for the Goblins and Fantasy Stars. I'll give them hope. There are 2 teams right now that, again, their defense have been struggling, but their offense is right next to AAA. Only scored 93 points. Fantasy Stars scored 89. So I mean, they're right up with them. The Goblins scored 109. Maule scored 99. So I mean, their offense is still close to a lot of these teams. Are averaging about 20 points a game ish, maybe 15. So I mean, they have a lot of chances. And again, there's still the Fantasy Stars 3 games left, Goblins 2 games left. So good chances and hope for those 2 teams.
All right, 2, not 3, but all right, fair enough. No chance and no hope for Goodfellas according to Quaysie. All right, Quaysie's calling you guys out. Prove us wrong, Goodfellas.
Oh, I would love. Well, look at just to kind of give them some love here. They got Ballers this week, and then they got Delicious the same week. They kind of play back to back. They play the Monday and the Wednesday. Then they got the Goblins, which should be interesting, and they finish with AAA. So they play 2 of the bottom teams, 2 of the top teams. 2 of the top teams, I don't see them winning. Maybe 2 of the bottom teams, maybe they'll score more than 4 points or 6 points, the points that they're averaging. So there is that.
All right, we'll see what happens. All right. Okay, so I think this pretty much wraps it up for the 6v6. So we did all the divisions. We had an in-depth conversation with Sanders Armand and Brianna Terraconi. Thank you to those 2 again for coming on. It's a great convo. Sanders actually sent me a text about 20 minutes ago saying, "Hey, that went a lot better than I thought it would. It was a lot of fun." So he thanks us for having him on the podcast. So we thank you guys again for coming on and sitting with us and answering all the questions and letting people get to know you guys a bit and talking about your excitement, of course, of being part of FlagPlus Football.
Yeah, well, again, they basically made history, right? First FPF couple coming on the podcast. There you
go. So I mean, Sarah Parker, I met Boubacar, Emily DeRoche. I apologize, I don't know the name of your boyfriend. I heard she's actually pregnant, by the way. So congrats to her if that's the case. But there you go, smart man. So if you guys want to come on, you're more than welcome. Anyway, any other couples want to come on? Feel free to come on and again chalk it up with us here on the First and Goal podcast.
Yes, sir.
All right, so this does it for the first episode. We have episode 2 coming up. We're gonna dive into a bit more of the women's football, the ladies, and do some quick 5v5 and a little bit of co-ed. We did some of that obviously with Sanders and Brianna before, but we're gonna get to the divisions that we didn't get to. I know Ali Reza wants to kill us. Pardon? No, and so we'll get into the ones that we didn't get into on the second episode coming up. Don't forget, obviously, the spring. I always call it the summer, but technically the spring/summer season is coming up pretty soon. It's going to be starting, I believe, in the end of May or end of May. Registration is going to be happening. I was told yesterday by Jeff Rosenblatt, of course, the president. I was told by him it's going to be happening around April 1st. So make sure to look out on FlagPlusFootball.com and, of course, all the social media like Facebook and Instagram to find out the exact date. But registration for the spring/summer season will be happening soon. So make sure you get your players together, get your money together for sure. And from my opinion, it's the funnest season because most of the games are outdoors. Some great competition and good weather and football. You can't go wrong.
Nope, not at all. Woozy Brunches live.
There you go. Exactly. All right, it's been the latest episode of FlagPlus Football's First and Goal podcast. I'm Brent. He's Quaysie. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Enjoy and have a great weekend.
Put the place up.